Hey, how you doing? This is SEIJIHITO here to bring you another live stream. So, as you can clearly see by the title, Black men will always be the problem. And how else should we start off this video? Well, by having a black male, two black men, as a matter of fact, on a podcast, having a conversation, right? And each one of them are on their side of the aisle. You have one guy here. If some of you guys may remember this man, he appeared on a street talk type of podcast where he was explaining to a gentleman how it is that he keeps his wife, and how it is that a man should provide. And during that time, he was on the street somewhere in Florida or Miami, and he had all of these bags like Gucci, Prada, all of this stuff, right? And I guess he was going shopping for his woman, or his soon-to-be wife, during that time. And he had all of these lists of things that men should do. And then coming directly to about 2025, this exact same guy ended up being not interviewed, but he was on his own platform recording this video and speaking directly to his son. And he was instilling in his son that he should be a provider, and he should do everything for a woman, and he should pay all of the bills, and a woman pretty much shouldn't have to do anything, and all of that stuff, right? But also, while doing that, it was stated that the same guy that you see in front of you is divorced. So I'm a little bit confused on the type of information that's being given out if you can't actually apply it to its fullness, and people can't see any fruits from the information. So let's just take a listen.
You shouldn't even be horny if you can't provide 100%.
If you don't provide, your woman shouldn't respect you
At all. I don't believe that. Like, women be out here working just as many hours as us, and we still require them to do so many more.
So, based on what you're saying is, a woman should not respect you if you're not providing. So, if I meet a woman, before I start providing for her, she shouldn't respect me until I start providing.
Well, in the talking stage, she can actually, you know what I'm saying?
So, I'm not providing yet. So you saying she should respect me in the beginning when I'm not providing?
Far as like y'all just correlating meeting each other, but you talk about love. Listen, I'm yours. Remember, we want exclusivity as men, right? We want exclusivity. You mine. If she yours, take care of her like she yours. That's yours. That's yours. Take care of her like she yours.
I find it very disrespectful that a woman can look at me and say, the only way I'm going to give him respect is if he could support me, not because of his character, not because of his morals, not because of any of this, which means somebody who has some money, who is a deplorable human being and all the worst things, should get respect based on because he made some money, not based on his character.
I believe character goes a long way, but it ain't going far as finances.
But respect though, wouldn't you teach your kids to don't respect somebody just because they got some money? Respect them because of their character, who they are.
I don't want the character to get confused with the actual finances of the situation, because you can be with the greatest guy in the world, but he broke. And guess what? Y'all life is going to go through so much turmoil. Y'all going to go through so much mental instability to the point where you needed that funds. I'd rather somebody need help in that area versus the financial area.
Right. So we heard that, right? Hey, what's up, Gail? What is up? What is up? So again, this is the same guy who is given the same stance, right? At one moment in time, he was married. Everything was happening. And then all of a sudden, the guy ain't married no more. Let's go directly to Tom Brady, because this dude right here, he was saying that, finances are so much, more important than an actual person's character. Tom Brady, who was the king of kings, right? Led the Patriots, right? The whole dynasty got rings, right? Out there looking like, the white Jordan of football. And his wife cheated on him. All of the money in the world that he got, probably like a billionaire or something like that, right? All the money in the world. And what's the girl named Janelle Bunchen, whatever her name is. She cheated on him with a jiu-jitsu teacher, master, or whatever it was, and she's living directly with that guy. So I guess money does not carry a long way. as this dude stated, he was like, if you're a good dude, somebody who got character, that's that really don't mean nothing, because at the end of the road, you guys are going to be going through so much turmoil, y'all going to suffer, and this, that, and the third, and all this other type of stuff, and rah, 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 rah. But it's like, you, with all of the money that you got divorced. How did that play out for you? And now you're teaching your son to do the exact same thing that you did, which is going to lead to him to have every relationship ruined, and for him to sit up there and be used and treated like a sucker. And then again, going directly by Tom Brady. So I'm a little bit confused, because two people that are together who are, as people want to say, broke, which nobody's technically broke. People are on their way to making more money. They're taking the necessary roads that they need in order to get to where it is that they want to get to when it deals with money. Because it's crazy to hear people like this that quote unquote got money. It's not wealth, right? It's not something generational. They got some money. They want to consider everybody else working a 9 to 5 and everything like that, 1 or 2 jobs, or has a career. They want to consider them broke, which is crazy to me. So, you got two people that come together that are talking, dating, or decide to get married. They can grow together. They can flourish together. You're not going to be able to do that when you're this rich dude and then you got a woman that doesn't have the same money. Y'all ain't flourishing together. It's going to be a lopsided, type of deal. But it is what it is. Shout out to Brandy V. World. This man said, the man and the myth, the legend, SEIJIHITO, ladies and gentlemen. Much love, respect, and appreciation for the $5 dono. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Jesus. Felt like Idris at that moment. I don't even know what happened right there. So now, Jesus, we're going to go to the next clip that's a part of this.
Guess what? Y'all life is going to go through so much turmoil. This is the financial area.
So I saw that video where that young man was like, oh, Black girls don't like nerdy guys, which is not true. Black girls absolutely like nerdy guys, but I stay quiet because I remember that one time I matched with this nerdy Black guy online because I thought I was into that sort of thing. So when he asked me to go on a date with him, I agreed. The plan was to go to dinner, and I remember it was a cold winter night in New York City. There was snow on the ground, and when he picked me up for our date, it was actively snowing then as well. I get into his car and we're off, and I remember him yapping on about God knows what, but at some point I put my hand out at the air vent to warm my hands up, and he looks over at me and he's like, are you cold? And then I go, oh, a little. So then he says, would you like me to warm your seat up for you? And then I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. Thank you. So he presses the button in his car to turn my seat warmers on. And now I'm stoked because I see which button turns my seat warmer on. So I go, I think I'll just turn that up a little more. So I hit the button 2 more times, and then he laughs and he's like, oh, well, you wouldn't want to turn that up too high because we wouldn't want to fry your eggs now, would we? Because we're going to need those.
So within that, right, she stated that she's into, or she dated a nerdy guy. I'm not really believing it. A lot of these stories that I happen to see online, I can't really take them serious. I'm just going to be honest. It's very difficult for me. And again, I'm the classic stereotypical Black guy, alternative, rock, video games, comic, anime, manga, Yu-Gi-Oh, the same spiel that I give every single time. Never at a point in time, I just want to make this very clear, never at a point in time in existence of, let's say, high school, middle school, did you ever see girls like her talking about, yeah, I like Black nerds? No. No, we're not doing that. We're not going to do that. That's what we're not going to do. That's what we're not going to do. You would usually catch everybody else that was completely fine with the dude, being a nerd. So I just want to put that out Just number one. And some people will sit up and say, well, Seji, maybe it was your specific area. During the time frame, you had the internet. So again, you think about this, right? Everybody had a MySpace, right? During a certain point in time, everybody had a MySpace, everybody had a Facebook, everybody had what other uh, Black Planet, Crushbot, whatever it is, right? IDB, right? You got all of these social media platforms. But the reason I wanted to specifically mention MySpace is because you had a lot of people that were geeked out where they would do the necessary work in order to have their MySpace page fully customized. Like your page was basically your home. So whoever it is that you are, your personality was shining on that page. And when I looked during that time, and you had those black guys that made that page like their page, like it was just straight geeked out. Yeah, nah, her type, they were not there. They were not there. So I don't even have to just look at it from a local perspective. I can look at it from a broader point of view, and I can see what women decide, or what types of women will gravitate to those types of guys. And guys, to be honest, they were like, yo, I like, video games, I like to do this, I like to do that, and all this other type of stuff, and rah rah rah. And yeah, nah. So, but beyond that, the guy made a joke, right? He was like, hey, we don't want to, turn the seat up, too high, because, we don't want to, heat up those eggs. We don't want to fry them, right? Because we're going to need those later. Basically, tongue in cheek, type of joke. Also basically saying that he is, interested in maybe potentially, depending on how the date, and then if it leads into a relationship and things like that go, he would be very interested in having kids, directly with her, because she is a very beautiful woman. And then she basically looked as if it was whatever. And I'm like, yeah, this is why guys who are quote unquote nerds or geeks, this is why they don't happen to, try to go out there and make jokes, or say things, or whatnot, or whatever, because you'll get that type of face where it's like, yeah, no, she gave the face like it was, hey, date is over. I'm no longer interested. Get me out this car. And then one thing that really stuck out to me was the fact that she said because she was able to remember everything else. But the main thing that stuck out to me was that she said that he was explaining and talking about something, and that she doesn't even remember. If you're into guys, and this is how I know she wasn't even interested in this dude to begin with, because she would have remembered verbatim what he was talking about. If she actually find him ideal, if she actually found him attractive, she would have remembered every single thing verbatim. I done seen girls do this on a variety of podcasts. I done seen them do this on street interviews, where if it's a random dude that they're not attracted to, they're not listening to nothing he's saying. They're not even paying him no mind, even when that dude is standing right next to him. But if it's a guy that they find and deem to be attractive or suitable, they're looking directly at that guy. And that guy is paying attention to the interview. He's listening to the question. He's giving his response. He's thinking about everything and breaking it down. He's not even paying attention to that woman directly on the side. Again, that's how it works. That's how life is. So like I said, she can get online and dress herself up and try to present herself as this type of person that's into black nerds. 9 times out of 10, she's not. Again, I've never seen these women before. We can go from the very early ages of the internet, when people on these, meetup or dating sites, whatever it is, and even within real life. No. Like I said, these people just magically pop out of nowhere and just start making content. I'm like, yeah, where were you at? Where were you specifically located? And where are the rest of your friends that are like you as well too? Nowhere to be found. Never existed. Shout out to Brandon V World. He said, I've never encountered girls like this. I'm not gonna lie. I was pulling girls left and right on Yahoo Messenger though. Yeah, that's how it was. You had Yahoo Messenger, you had AOL. What else I'm not even sure if like Netscape even had anything. But there was a few, different places that, people would go and they would, talk to people and everything in the sort. So yeah. Yep. What was it? Barb said it's annoying when they say that, because the nerdy men run away from women that are too put together, but idolize them and overlook other nerdy women. I mean, this is the thing with that. When it deals with like the whole nerdy thing, again, I'm just even going by back when I was in high school. Back when I was in high school, like I said, I told the story many times. Me and my boys, or the few that were into like Yu-Gi-Oh, we would take about like a good at the far back of the lunchroom. We got like 3 lunch tables that we would just like socialize. It would just be like our section. Everybody else, the whole, 90% of the school, like they got, the whole like middle and the very beginning of the lunch. We're in the far back because that's where, we're good. And then on top of that, in the back, you have to go through the front in order to try to do anything. So if anybody wanted to come through, it's like, oh, we about to sit up there and like run up there, snatch their cards and do this. And yeah, good luck. Good luck, because we can see you coming a mile away, literally, right? But during the standpoint of us just doing that, you girls wasn't pulling up to the scene. And I'm talking about like even the nerdy girls, they're not sitting directly over there with us. They sitting over there with the whole general population of the high school. So like you can clearly see where everybody is. The nerdy guys didn't mind being directly to the side, like the outcast, whatever you want to call it. We didn't mind like being over to the side. We're cool. Like we got ourselves, and we can make our own jokes. We can, play games and talk about the stuff that we want to talk about without having to be, made fun of, right? Or to try to fit in. The nerdy girls were trying to fit directly in with the rest of the girls that they got issues with that would never accept them from the beginning. Like they're over there with the general population. So when I'm specifically stating that I know for a fact that nerdy girls were not trying to really be with nerdy guys, I know this because I've seen it. I've literally lived that. Like I said, usually people can, if people are of a same title, they would usually partake in certain things and want to learn. And that was not the case. That was not nothing that was happening. Nerdy girls were not trying to come up like, oh, what y'all over here doing? Like, can you, teach me, this, that, and the third. I want to learn how to play. Nah, because they understood, like, if they already understood how it was already deemed and seen for guys to be over there playing Yu-Gi-Oh and whatnot, right? So it was like they already got a title and they're already not fitting in. They're not trying to have that extra weight put directly on them. Like I said, it's hey, I don't know. I don't know. Apex says she could eat an apple pie in 3 bites. Brandon V. World said, darn. Will said a woman likes the nerdy guy if he's got the Big Mac. I don't even know what that means. Somebody said, speak for yourself. Barb said, Seji, you said, why you doing that? Why hold adults accountable for a middle school attraction? They were like 13, didn't even know themselves. Wait, what you talking about 13? No. When I basically mentioned like Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm talking about people are like, 15, 16, 17. We're not talking about 13-year-olds. We're talking about like, yo, you're there, you know? I'm not, I don't even remember 13-year-olds in high school. Was it just me? Maybe it was just me. I don't know. But I remember folks, being from the age ranges. You got the 15, 16, 17, 18. Like I remember that. That's the timeline. That's the age range. That I remember. I don't know. I don't know. Gail said his joke was pretty clever and sweet. Sounds like he was looking forward to a future. Yeah. And you got a lot of like dudes like, maybe might be socially awkward, or maybe the jokes may not be on cue, but it's like you get the joke though. But this is why a lot of nerdy black guys don't, in a sense, give it a shot or a try, because you already know how it's going to end up. If the girl might have been like 1% interested, you say that joke that, some other people may laugh at and actually get, she'll be like, yeah, get me out this car. Date's over. Matter of fact, I got work. I got something. she she is out of there. She is out of there. Brandon B. World said the joke was a little weird for me, but I got it. Yo, Young, what is up? What is up? Barb said, I do value your experience though, and I'm listening. Those girls were really mean to those boys. I def saw it, so I won't pretend to be biased. some people they make it seem like high school was just great for everybody. No, it wasn't. It was not. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Brandy World says shout out to Dragon Boy 378 on Yahoo Messenger. Shout out to my 14-year-old self. This man's Yahoo Messenger was Dragon Boy. What was I don't even know what mine was. I'm not even sure what mine was, as a matter of fact. That's funny. I would actually, I don't even think you can look at Yahoo Messenger, as a matter of fact. Man, I would have to take a deep dive on that. I would have to take a minute. I would really have to take a minute. Like that's a part of culture right there. The younger generation don't know nothing about that. Yo, Ty, what is up? What is up? What is up? Barb said, and you said the girls were frenemies with popular girls. I was too busy in the poetry club and debate groups, but it was funny to see. Yeah, I saw it all the time. I even saw, like, again, I even went to class with some of the nerdy girls. I even carried books. And just to see the looks that even like the normal girls that weren't even popular would give directly to the nerdy girls was weird. I'm like, y'all both on the same social scale. I'm like, so how are you acting as though that you're just the normal one out here, not even popular, but you're acting like you're on a higher hierarchy versus the nerdy girl? I'm like, y'all weird. Like, this just don't. I'm like, and this is what y'all got to deal with on an everyday basis, being girls. Y'all got it. It's like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Offensive Thought said, from South Africa, said, what are we talking about? Technically, the title, black men will always be the problem. So this is, well, more than likely, I'm just going to put it to black American men, right? I'm just going to put it directly to that one, right? Rabbit said, I wasn't really a nerdy guy, but I was being physically beat at home. I didn't want people to know, so I had to keep girls at a distance because I couldn't take them home. That's tough. That is tough. That is tough. Offensive said, on a first date, I would never be in a car with a guy I don't know. I mean, I guess. I mean, they were on a date, and they were going on a date, so he was picking her up. I mean, it's whatever people do. I mean, some people take Ubers, some people take individual cars, or the guy would pick the woman up and take her directly on a date. Um, I mean, you're from like South Africa, so maybe it's different there. In the United States, we have certain things that we do here. I don't know. I don't know. Gail said, I still have my Yahoo email. I think a lot of people do, technically. Especially if you went through like middle school, the first time that the computer was, literally installed, every middle schooler had, like, kids during that time frame had an email before parents did. That's how crazy it was. A lot of kids knew more about computers than the adults of that era, which was insane. Shout out to those computer classes. Offensive said, being in a car with a guy on a first date, what if there is no escape? Nah, needs escape plan just in case. And you said, we do have people that pick each other up, but we have to know each other. I mean, okay. But I would say, wouldn't you take it if I put it like this, right? Everybody is dangerous, right? So you're stating that it's dangerous for a woman to do X, Y, and Z, but wouldn't you also say that it's dangerous for a woman to give a guy that she doesn't know her number and her name? Because just with those two things, you can find out pretty much her whole life story, right? So I'm like, if we're going to be really concerned, we should be concerned everywhere and not just specifically dealing with a car. Because even with a phone number, this is why at a certain moment of time, you had women out here that decided that, oh, I'm just going to have a Google number and I'm just going to give that out, right? Because it wasn't linked to nothing, right? You said, don't you find it weird that strangers be in cars with each other? No. I mean, we're talking about grown adults, so no. If you take an Uber, you're in a car with a stranger. If you take a taxi, you're in a car with a stranger. And 9 times out of 10, that's a man driving a car, right? And He knows where you live. Like taxi drivers, you had to, back in the day, you had to tell taxi drivers where it is that you were located. So you had taxi drivers that were actually very good at mapping out cities, and they knew shortcuts and everything. And some of these taxi drivers, they were able to remember where somebody worked, where they shopped, and where they lived. So I'm just, I'm just saying. And again, the greater majority of those jobs, when it dealt with taxi drivers, Uber drivers, and Lyft, you have men that know all of these directions, that can remember these locations. Right. So again, if we're talking about, men and it being dangerous and things of that sort, you would then think that all women should pretty much just take their own vehicles or find women out there that can drive them, to and from. you know Barb said no, that's how cabs and Ubers work. uh Offensive thought said, Uber, you share your ride with at least 5 people. What Uber are you taking? I've never shared my ride with 5 people. It's only been me in that car. I don't do a party share. I specifically order an Uber from point A to point B. That's it. I'm not doing a party share. Like, for me, that makes no sense. I can pay for my own Uber. You said, I think there are a certain safety measures that you can take. And Sherry said, right, just don't take any water or food, I guess, from the drivers. And you said, Offensive said, no, I mean the link. You said, like, you can share your location with your family or friends. No, I get that you can share your location with family or friends, but that doesn't immediately stop that something could potentially happen. That's what I'm saying. So, like, in everyday life, you take a risk, right? 9 times out of 10, if you go for a job interview, a guy is more than likely interviewing you. The people that you turn over your information from, where it's your name, your social security, and everything, and that, usually it's a guy. So again, guys are privy to a lot of this information, but 9 times out of 10, guys don't do anything with the information. They do what they're supposed to do, which is, all right, we got the information, read it over, we're going to put it in the file, in the file cabinet or in the computer, and that's pretty much it. So I'm saying is, like, there's multiple, areas in life of which that guys are there, that they have access to this information dealing with women, and 9 times out of 10, nothing happens. But going with your argument, you're saying that it's dangerous for women on a first date or first meeting to be in a car with a man. And I'm saying, like, in general, women should just have that outlook, not just in one instance. Yo, Prince, what is up? What is up? What is up? Sherry said, I've shared a ride with 5 people. And I gotta wait for you to finish that. Offensive said, yeah, I've heard this weird story about an Uber driver that offered people water and was drugging them. Sherry said, I've never shared a ride with 5 people. Yeah, I've never done that either. And again, that story, that's one of those rare type of stories. It's not something that happens every single day. Because, like I said, 9 times out of 10, you got that 1%, out of everything else, where you have stories like that happen. Every other time, stuff is not happening. Guys, they'll pick you up and then they'll drop you off. That's it. No more, no less. Offense said, on a first date, I'm speaking. However, on the daily, we should be careful, but also, can people stop being creepy? Wait, I'm a little bit confused. How do we get to the creepy part? I'm a little I'm a little bit confused. Where did the creepy part even come directly from? Like, before, we were focused on the concerns and issues that you brought up. Fair, no problem. And then we delved directly into that and broke that down. And basically, for me, my point of view, stating that instead of just being focused on one thing, dealing with a date, getting into a car with a guy that is considered to be a stranger, right, which is a fact, you should, look at the whole of society like that, and not just one area. Because if you're just looking at, one side, then that means that you're lapsing in judgment when it deals with all the other facets of life, of which that you meet and come into contact with men, if, men are, quote unquote, so dangerous. What was it? Sherry said, be quiet and aware, I guess. Offensive said, we should be careful at all times. People can be dangerous everywhere. I mean, there are creeps everywhere. And you said, that's what I mean. Creeps be everywhere. I mean, okay. All right. I feel like we're going to go in a circle on this one. So let's go to the next video.
Dear warehouse man, please let me explain to y'all how annoying and creepy it is for y'all to sit there and watch a unload her whole truck. Like, that's so annoying to me. That is creepy. Like, you just literally stand there and watch me. Literally watch me unload my truck, and you're just standing there. And then whatever other truck drivers are in the bays next to me come over there and stand and watch me. Now I feel like a circus freak show because y'all are watching me unload my goddamn truck instead of helping. Like, what kind of men are y'all? That blows me. It blows me. Then y'all want to hold small talk. I'm working. I don't want to talk about how long I've been driving and do I like it. Y'all so.
You said being a housewife is not a.
So we heard that, right? So basically, this is her whole thing. Up top, she said, let me see if I can go back to the first part. Let me see. She said, warehouse men make me extremely uncomfortable, right? So her main complaint is, as a woman, she got an 18-wheeler. She's, delivering stuff to and from. She stated that it was weird and creepy that the men were standing there and also they were watching her. And then on top of that, they didn't help her. So I'm a little bit confused. So you want the help of men that you consider to be weird and creepy. You want them to be in close proximity to you to help you with your job that you get paid to do. You work the truck, you unload that truck. Whenever it was, again, let me just take it from the standpoint of working at Whole Foods, right? Whenever the truck drivers will come in, it don't matter if they were coming in at 9 p.m., 3 p.m., 4, 5, 3, 7, 12. It don't matter what hours they come in. The moment in time that those truck drivers come directly in, they're to unload those trucks. That means that if there's 12 pallets directly on the back of that trailer, those truck drivers get out, come through the back door of Whole Foods, and they get the lift and they start unloading that truck. And then what normally happens is that the guy who works in the warehouse, or for sake of the conversation, in Whole Foods, we would have the dude in the back that normally puts everything from the top floor to the basement. That's normally how that works. So I'm a little bit confused on how she's mad that she has to do her job. And we're living in a day and age of which that women basically stated that they're independent and they don't need the help of men at all. So why are you crying and screaming online, making this video talking about men are creepy and men are this, that, and the third because they don't want to help you? You're getting paid to drive that 18-wheeler across country, which means that is your 18-wheeler, right? That is your possession, which also means that whatever is inside of that trailer, you are supposed to unload yourself. Like no man owes you any type of help. If any of the guys want to help you, they can. Like I've offered to sit up there at the moment in time that I've seen female truck drivers. I've often, I'll be like, hey, you need some help, you need some assistance. Cause like I said, I don't have no problem. Right. Even when it deals with men, I'm like, yo, that looks like a lot. It's like, yo, you want me to help you with that? It's like, I got you. Right. Again, I have no problem. But you are not owed anything because you are a female truck driver. Like, what are we talking about here? This is what entitlement looks like. And then magically men are the problem. How? You signed up for this job. You don't hear men making videos online talking about like, man, these men out here, they're weird and creepy. Like they see another man out here working an 18-wheeler and they don't want to help me unload this truck, man. Men are so weird out here. What? Do you understand how that will come off online? Do you understand how people would talk about that? The many things that people would say if a man came online and he wanted to start yelling, screaming, and crying about this, that other men didn't want to help him out. Come on now. This is like it's crazy. Like this is the entitlement that people be talking about. And then on top of that, it's crazy again that a woman can sit up there and say that men are creepy and weird? Do we not understand context? Do we not understand words? Do we not understand how brandings like that can be harmful and detrimental? Like I said, we don't know none of those dudes directly in that warehouse, but she labeled them as creepy and she labeled them as weird. Oh boy. Oh boy. Like I said, if you let a certain segment of women online get a hold of just those two words and then how it is that she's panting and doing all of this other type of stuff online, oh, it's over. There's going to be a lot of insinuations. And then you're going to have women coming out of nowhere like, oh, yeah, I have a story of, this, that, and the third, and all these other types of things. Like, yeah, these men out here are creepy. They're this, they're. I'm like, oh, my God. Like, it's crazy. It is crazy. Prince says, shaking my head. Offensive thought said, I remember I went on a morning walk and this random dude pulled up next to me being creepy. Bro, I'm doing my morning walk. I mean, this is, let me just highlight this. I'm just going to say it like this. For the guys out there, we can be immensely attracted directly to women out here. What needs to happen is at the moment in time that you see women out here, mind your business. Mind your business. It don't matter if a woman is carrying grocery bags. It don't matter if she's exercising. It could be a morning walk, walking her dog. It don't matter if she has a whole bunch of bags and she needs a door open. Mind your business. Mind your business. Mind your business. Because you're going to get labeled as a creep. You're going to get labeled as problematic. And it's going to be a problem. So, I got to, use what you stated as an example, to basically, again, I'm agreeing directly with you, but also at the same time, I'm saving other men from problems directly out there. Like I said, even if it looked like a woman needs help, don't do it. Because I promise you, somehow, some way, it'll be turned into a story online. Somebody will make a video. You as a guy will be demonized and your name and your image will be tarnished forever. And it don't matter what videos or who's going to come out and speak directly for you. It's over for you. Skirts. You might as well start a life of crime at the moment in time you see a TikTok video made about you. Might as well start a life of crime. Start robbing banks. It's over. Barb said, if you driving for the woman, she said, if you're driving an 18-wheeler, they're assuming you got it. Everybody asking me if I need help. I don't know what he got going on. Yep. Offensive said, I heard what she was saying. It's called common decency. They don't owe her anything, but the staring part always gets me. Well, this is the thing. The moment in time that I've been told that I don't need help, I sit back as a guy. I'm like, okay, let me see if you really got this. I'm going to sit back and actually watch. We do the same thing to men. Like I'm not understanding why women think that this is something that only solely happens to them. We do this for in life in general. This is something that women are not privy to in general. When men tell other men, I got it, I can handle it, we're going to sit back. It's like, oh, you do? Oh, let me sit back. Let me just take 5 minutes out of my day real quick. Let me see if you actually got it. Let me see if you can actually lift that up if you don't actually need help. Because we know 9 times out of 10 that person needs help, but they're telling us that they don't need the help, which is stupid, which doesn't make any sense, but then they still want us to offer the help. Again, which is stupid. So for guys, we're willing to sit up there and look at somebody basically crash and burn and then be like, yo, you need that help? You still got it. That's how we work. That's how we do. This is not something that just specifically deals with women. We do this universally to men all the time. You guys are just now seeing it because you guys are coming directly into these areas where primarily where it deals with some type of sort of physical labor. Now you guys are, pulling up to those positions in those jobs. So now what men normally do, women are like, oh, you guys are creepy. Why are you guys watching? Because we watch everybody. And then on top of that, if you're dealing with pallets, we also have to watch because there's been times, even with men who are pulling pallets off of a truck, we got to sit up there and watch to make sure you don't hit the top of the truck or to make sure that pallet that sometimes is heavy, 200 plus pounds of items, is not going to tip over. And me and my coworkers at times, multiple times, dealing with 18-wheelers, when somebody's pulling a pallet off, we've had to rush over there real quick because we noticed that whoever packed it initially at the other place and put it on that truck, or maybe it was a 2 on the front with the vibrations, it was tilted. So there's been times that we've actually saved the person that was pulling the pallet, because when he turned that corner, the way that that pallet was going to swing and turn, it was going to land on him. So 5 of us literally ran over there and propped up that pallet so that it wouldn't crush that dude under the weight. So like I said, it's crazy to me. Like I said, I'm at the point where when it deals with women dealing with like heavy objects, I'm like, I'm just gonna let it crush you. I'm like, you got it. I'm like, I ain't gonna pay no attention. I'm just gonna walk by. This is why we see gym videos now where guys are not trying to help women, and guys can measure weight. We can tell when a guy can potentially lift that weight and when he can't, and when he's going to need help. Usually, when it deals with the gym, you want help. You want somebody that's gonna be there, but like just in case, like the breath is running short, or the strength is not really giving that much. You got somebody that's like, all right, we're about to lift this up real quick, right, to save you so it doesn't fall on your neck. You got too many women out here that feel like they're men, or they want to judge men as being creepy, or always wanted to talk to them. So now dudes are like, I'm not helping women with these weights at the gym. So if you crush yourself, you crush yourself. And I've watched countless videos of women lifting weights and quote unquote that they can lift, and then it's falling directly on them, and they not getting no help. And I'm like, yeah, rightfully so. You got it, champ. You are the king of kings. You better lift that weight. You better figure it out. Like I said, we treat men the exact same way. If you got men out here that want to move stupid and act like they can do it by themselves, do that dummy run. You got women out here that think that they're in the same place as a champion. They think they're the king of kings. They think that they're men out here too. You're going to be in the exact same place as that goofy, as that dummy that I just gave the example of. Like, I don't know. Like I said, people gonna have to figure it out. Prince says she had on booty shorts, I bet. I mean, I don't know. I have seen how some of the female truck drivers they will have on some of the tightest clothes, and I'm like, you're not working out. I mean, but like I said, whatever. Because the moment of time you start judging how women dress, people want to be like, oh my God, you're trying to control women. I'm like, no, I'm like, you want some feasible, working attire. Like, you're dealing with objects that could like spill, break, or tear. So, like I said, I don't know, you can't tell nobody nothing. You can't tell nobody nothing. Sherry says she chose to work in a man's occupation. You decided to train for that job. Women think bars. Offensive thoughts said Sherry, maybe so, however, maybe she doesn't have a choice, but she shouldn't be entitled. Sherry said, I learned mad administration skills, and I wouldn't want to drive an 18-wheeler. Oh, no, I got you. Yo, what's up, Pink? What is up? Rabbit said nobody should be harassed, but you have to know what kind of profession you chose. That's like black nurses being surprised at the old 1960 born white people being racist. You know what you were getting into. That's true. Jamal, what is up? You said I go for morning walks, but we say good morning. Hello is a greeting. Jamal said 1971, we were taught to speak being respectful. And the craziest part is that's initially how I was raised. And what I've had to figure out over time, because again, I'm not trying to end up on some, magical somebody else's channel where they'll be like, yo, this strange dude, this strange black guy, he sat up there and walked past me and said good morning. I'm not even trying to go through that. I don't even speak no more. And I'm dead serious. Like, I'm honest about what it is. I don't even sit up there and speak like I used to. Because it seems to be this general consensus where you will have women on social media that will make videos about, complaining about men, and other women will take that and they will internalize it as if that is their reality. And then they will walk out the same as that woman, which makes no sense. And I'm like, I don't got time for it. And I'm not trying to figure out who is who, because it's just way too much noise going on out here. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not speaking. I'm not saying that. Like I said, I ain't helping nobody with nothing. I'm not speaking to say nothing, because I got everything to lose. I literally have everything to lose, and I have everything to gain off of it. I'm like, I'm just going to minimize it. If I got to look like the villain or the bad guy at the end of the day because of that, so be it. At least I'm like that on my own terms. It's not because somebody dictated it and gave me that branding. Like I said, maybe, once, things change, probably in 20 years, maybe I can go back to, my normal programming. Up until then, nah. Nope. the programming of how it is that I was raised, yeah, I can't even walk with that programming no more because it'll just get me caught up. Get me caught up. D Money said, "What is good, people? Not much, not much, not much." OLM said Keisha is the problem. LOM said 93% of truck drivers in the United States are men. Yo, Sham, what is up? What is up? What is up? You said I'm late. Sorry, was making it. No, you cool, you cool, you cool. We're pretty much still on the first, parts of the video. Now about to go to the next section here. Let me see. Get past the circus part. Should be this.
I don't want to talk about how long I've been driving and do I.
Get past the screaming and crying. Let me just pull that back real quick.
Y'all so.
You said being a housewife is not a privilege.
It's not. I didn't say that. And but
How
she's
is it not a privilege as an adult?
It's not the same. It's just
No, that's not what she said. She said it. Listen, I watched the clip. She said it was not a privilege.
It's not.
The ability to exist without having to provide for yourself. Explain to me how that is not a privilege.
It's not leisure because there's times where I was parenting.
But you still want to be treated as an adult.
No.
How is it not a privilege to not fulfill the requirements of being an adult, but to still be treated as an adult?
You're not saying what I'm saying. What's not being an adult? Tell me what's not being an adult.
You're not taking care of yourself. You're taking care of the children and you're taking care of the home. That man is taking care of you.
But you know what is a luxury? You getting to wake up in the morning and leave and take care of all of that stuff and go to work and make money because you have someone who's holding it down at home. Guess what?
Huh?
I personally can't go to work 24/7 and work all these long shifts because I have that.
I think
now if you had to come home, pick up the kids and take care of everything on your own, you probably can't make as much money as you're making because now you got a schedule to maintain and you got to make sure those kids is picked up, and now schedules are different, so kids got to get picked up at different times. They can't even stay till 3 p.m. no more. And then on another note, you're too tired to feed them properly. They don't even get the proper nutrients because you got to work and you got to take care of that and you got to stop and do your laundry. You got to stop and go grocery shopping. And you got to just sweating while driving.
when you said
Okay, let me just, because this is what I don't like. Let me just pull this back real quick, because she was hyping herself up. Maybe this is like her husband or something. I don't know. I'm trying to check for like rings and something. I'm not really seeing nothing. But the dude to like the side was basically trying to console. I'm like, dog, what is you doing? What is you doing? Like, what? Like, why? She's hyping herself up. This is I'm not even sure. I don't think that the dude that's in the middle of the podcast, I don't think those two people are basically married or even in a relationship, right? So I'm just going to go off of that basis. And this is what I'll be talking about when it deals with conversation with women. A lot of women, when they want to try to make a point, they hype themselves up. This was not even a conversation for you to even be hyped at all. This was just for you to just sit up there and talk. But now she wanted to make it personal, as if she's being specifically attacked, which is crazy to me. He simply said, he was like, how is basically being married and you not having to do anything, you're just at home, how is that not a privilege? It is a privilege. She wanted to say it's not because she has to do all of these other things. So fine, let's just put it like this, because for whatever reason, even women who don't have kids want to bring up kids in a situation. Let's bring up a situation where you have two people that are married. The guy is working, the woman is at home, and there are no kids. Now, what is it? It's looking real privileged to me. You're a woman, you're at home, you don't got to pay no bills, you don't really got to do nothing. You're probably not doing no cleaning, probably not really doing no type of cooking, because who do you have to cook for? You're not going to cook for the guy, and you don't have no kids to cook for. So you're either going to be going out with your girls and eating, you're going to order yourself something, or you might cook something specifically for yourself. So by the time that the husband comes home, he has to then either bring something home from work, or he has to sit up there and order something, or potentially see if you want to take the time out of your busy day to, make something for him. She said it's a privilege for the guy to go out there and to work all of those hours. Without a guy being married and even being in a relationship, a guy can have an apartment and he's still doing the exact same things. What are you talking about? It's a privilege. Like, it sounds crazy. The only thing when it comes down to these conversations is the kids. Take the kids out of the conversation. What's the argument now? There is not an argument that any of these women can sit up there and make. It's not. You're at home doing nothing. You're basically a bum. You're not doing that. You're not bringing money into the house. You're not multiplying the money that's already there. You're probably not even managing the money properly. What are we talking about? Like, this is why I hate these conversations. And this is why you can't have a lot of conversations like this with women, because they always, the first thing that's the go-to is they're going to get over emotional. I kid you not. I swear to goodness, every single time, it's always a full run of emotions. And then if there's other women there, they're going to automatically agree with the other woman. And I'm like, what is this? I'm like, where are we at this moment in time? Where are we at? Where are we at? But let's continue.
No more. And then on another note, you're too tired to feed them properly. They don't even get the proper nutrients because you got to work and you got to take care of that and you got to stop and do your laundry. You got to stop and go grocery shopping. And you got to just sweating while driving.
When you said being a housewife is not a privilege, I want to know, how is that not a privilege when a man having a good woman and a good wife is a privilege?
I think you're taking it literal, though. She didn't say
How can I not take it literal?
The thing is that my statement was to clarify the erroneous conflation of people saying that being a stay-at-home wife or no, like it's a job.
You guys are both.
What?
It's still a privilege.
No, listen.
Shut up.
When you have a 24-hour job, you still get to clock out. When you have a 24-hour job, right? Because she still has to deal with everything in the house. Everybody done ate, kitchen got to be clean. Hold on, everybody done whatever. She got to make sure the kids is bathed. Make sure they in the bed. Make sure they lunches is made the next day. Make sure they did their homework.
Make sure dinner's
right?
put up.
Mind you, he at Baccarat Hotel having a drink with the homies.
Hold on. And the thing is that her shift don't stop at 5 or 6.
Brother, like I said, take kids directly out of the conversation. Now what we got? Nothing. You have zero. Like this, Jesus Christ. I've noticed that every single time that there's conversations when it deals with relationships, the main go-to that people want to sit up there and always mentions like, oh, well, women have periods. Women go through this, that, and the third. Women have kids. It's always some like one-off or some very finite specific thing. Because if you remove any of those things directly from the conversation, now everything is a so-called it's a balance. It's even. Everybody's sitting directly on the same ground. And it's crazy. It's like, okay, so the man is out here working. First of all, it's already dangerous leaving your house. Just even being a man, getting to your car, you can be robbed. You can be mugged. You can have your life automatically taken. You getting into your car and driving, specifically dealing with black men, you could be stopped and potentially have your life taken. You can get robbed directly in traffic, have your life taken. And then you're going to your job. Let's say that it's physical labor. Let's say that it's like a dangerous job. Let's say you might be on a oil rig, right? You might be a truck driver. You might be a linesman or you might be an offshoreman or something like that. You got the potentiality of losing your life every single day you step foot at that job. Every single day. And you're going to pull up to the scene as a woman and sit up there and tell a guy that it's a luxury that you get to work all of those hours at that dangerous job where you got to sacrifice your life and you don't know if you're going to actually come back home in one piece or even at all. While you, being a woman, have the luxury to decide that, okay, you want to be a stay-at-home mom. Again, that was provided for you. You wanted to get pregnant, correct? Y'all lay down and have kids, right? And then you birthed that child. You said that you wanted to be the stay-at-home mom and you didn't want to have to, worry about paying bills. You didn't want to work multiple jobs. So the guy afforded that directly to you. He gave that privilege directly to you, something that you could not afford or give that privilege to yourself. There's a lot of single mothers directly out here. And they're not living in a type of privilege. They're not living in a type of soft life because they can't afford that for themselves. Because you need somebody else in order to alleviate certain weight, such as finances, in order to make it easier for you to do the things that you want to sit up there and do. But somehow, some way, people want to sit up there and say that men don't do anything. Men are valuable. Men cause all the problems. No, it's conversations like this. It's conversations like this where women always want to pull this back and forth BS, because this type of nonsense is straight nonsense, and is going to go directly towards the younger women, because these are older women up here. So you got the older women talking, and they're going to hand this information over to the younger women that are in their 20s. And then the ones that are in their 20s, they have the eye, right? They have all of the younger girls, the teenage girls, looking directly at them, such as on TikTok. So this is going to be a cycle on cycle on cycle on cycle, and it's going to be just jacked. It's going to be jacked. There's going to be a very specific reason why I'm going to say that it's jacked, because I have a video dealing with marriage a little bit later on. But let's continue. Shout out to Wizzo. I did see you. I saw you. You said make it make sense. I see you. Prince said, I don't even hold doors open for these new age women. If it isn't a friend or a family member, they can open the door themselves. Yeah, that's true. Sonny said, do men live a different set of 24 hours? I mean, I guess because we're not women, and because we don't have, the chemical imbalance and periods and all that type of stuff, we can't bear children. Our 24 hours as men is different from women's 24 hours. We're not the same human being. So that's what I'm getting from it. Jasmine said financially, she said his financially abusive holding that thought. Yikes. You sound poor, fellas. I'm not even sure who you're talking about. I need you to let me know what area of the video of the live stream that you're specifically talking about, because I don't know what you're referring to. And again, saying that somebody is poor is wild. Oh boy, here we go. Calling people broken poor already. Hey, like I said, it's a good day. Shout out to the comment, Jasmine. Shout out. Let me see, what else do we got here? You said if you don't have a mission with task for your lady, why do you have her? This is the so wait. So let me I'm just trying to get this in a perspective. So the main mission for a woman, like if she is there, so the mission should be for her to be a stay-at-home mom and to just bear kids, because I could have sworn that people were against that. The feminist movement and a lot of women, such as the B4 movement and the waves of feminists directly out there, I could swear that they're actually against that. And they're not for that. They're for women being treated equally, going out there working, doing the exact same jobs, getting the exact same money as men. I'm pretty sure, there's some arguments about that. Now, normally what's supposed to happen is that women are supposed to know what they are supposed to do, right? If the guy is out there working, that means that he's not really managing the finances. The woman is at home, which means that she knows all the codes to the bank accounts and the checking accounts and all this other type of stuff. So she is managing, she's the accountant. She is managing that, right? So she can see the errors, like, okay, we got these expenditures, we got these unnecessary things here. What we need to do, instead of having a black hole financially, we need to seal up that so that we can actually start to save and build as a family, right? So while the dude is making the money, he can't be everywhere all at once, right? Because he doesn't have that luxury to it. 9 times out of 10, when he deals with men, we got tunnel vision. When we're focused, we are focused, and we are good on whatever it is that we are focused on. That has been a proven fact. Women are good at multitasking, right? So this is when that multitasking skill that is innately within women kicks, or should kick directly in, and when women should basically be working. If a man has to go out there and figure out what it is that he is supposed to do and abide directly by that, women innately should automatically know what it is that they're supposed to do once they get into that settled position of being that fiance, that girlfriend, fiance, wife, what have you, right? And again, I'm saying without kids. So this is speaking on what I said before, where women are supposed to be an asset and not a liability. Women are supposed to multiply what is coming directly into the house, or fix, whatever financial, areas are, in a sense, lacking there, because they can actually sit there and look at every single thing and make a list, make an itinerary of, all right, this is what we got to knock down. This is what we can keep. This is what we make every single month. So this is what we got to put directly towards bills. And this is how much we got left over. right? And this is what we're going to put directly into a savings and over here and all that other type of stuff. Like I said, a woman doesn't have to sit up there and tell a man that he needs to work because a man is already working, or at least he should be. If you're even talking to that, he should be working. If you're a woman and you got to tell the dude to go out there to work, you like dealing with bums. I don't know what to sit up there and tell you. You got to talk to yourself and God about that. But a man knows what it is that he's supposed to be doing, because 9 times out of 10 he's already been doing it. Just like the same thing, a woman should already know what she should be doing because she should have already been doing it. I mean, that's where I'm at. Man, if it sounds sexist, then so be it. So be it. So be it. Daniel said Indiana housewife. I don't know even what that terminology even means. Let me tell you something. Jasmine said it's a sacrifice. It's easier to make money. I'm a little bit confused. I mean, I guess you could say it's easier to make. So you're saying that it's easier to make money versus it being easier taking care of the home with no other things to even take care of. Okay. All right. I guess. Like if you're saying it from the standpoint of, let's say, because I'll bring it into like reality, right? If you got 2 people, man and woman together, or married in a relationship, the dude works and the woman is at home and they only have like 1 child. And again, just 1 child. I'm not talking about all these other women out here that got like 99 kids. I'm talking about just 1 child, because realistically, you should stay within what it is that you can specifically manage. If you go outside of that, again, you better talk to God about that. They don't got nothing to do with nobody else. That should still be manageable. The only way that it's not manageable is if people are not doing what it is that they're supposed to be doing. If the dude ain't working, again, the situation is going to be dire. The woman, of course, she has to, manage the kid, and then she also has to work. You're going to have problems directly right there. Or to put it to the further extent, again, going to reality, if you're dealing with women who are single and they have a child, yeah, you will sit up there and say that it's a lot easier making money versus taking care of the home, aka the children. Of course you are. But this is another reason why people tell a lot of people that before you decide to get into these situations and decide to bear kids, that you have something there directly for yourself. So I don't know. Shem said LOL, but that makes sense because a lot of partners will not share that responsibility and both spouse work. Sonny said, silly female girl, lady, woman, dude sometimes literally pay for my freedom. Coach said facts. Violet said you can be robbed in the house. I mean, yeah. Jasmine laughing in the comment section. Violet said you can get robbed in your yard. Jasmine said, like when you give birth. LOM says she's full of it. Sonny said just be beautiful and that's it. Violet said dangerous jobs in 2026. Gail said Jesus is the only way. Oh man. Jasmine said you wanted to get pregnant. That's a crazy mindset and statement. No, it's not. It's how is that a crazy mindset? You hear women all the time saying that they want to get pregnant, and a lot of times women get pregnant by the wrong guys. Where am I lying? Let me know specifically, where am I lying? I have yet to really see women go online and talk about they got pregnant by the right guy. Every woman got the same story. I got pregnant by the wrong guy. This dude is a deadbeat. He just wasn't the right type of dude. I just knew he wasn't going to be a fight. It's the same thing every single time. So again, when I sit up there and state you wanted to get pregnant, you did. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't have slept with that dude that you automatically knew was not the right one. You wouldn't have opened up your legs. You would have kept the kneecaps closed. Ankles would have been together instead of spread. Like I don't know how else to sit up there and say it. Like it's crazy to me when people don't want to, acknowledge what it is that they specifically decided to go for. Like it's wild to me. Because the craziest part is I listed this at the very first part where I gave people the image of this dude, right? Because again, the main title of the live stream is that black men will always be the problem. I started off directly with the black man that is problematic because he was given the wrong advice out here to other black men and young black men, which is just 100% doing everything for a woman. And then within doing that, you're automatically going to get, the love and the respect of a woman. No, you're not. She's going to step directly all over you. She's going to use you for your finances and drain you, and you're not going to be left with anything. And this dude was simply stating that he doesn't, the character of the man doesn't matter. It's about the finances. He was like, the character is only going to get you like so far, because, if you got a good guy, but, he's broke, and, he's together with a woman, it's like y'all going to go through so many, things mentally, and this, that, and the third, and all this other type of stuff. But if a dude is financial, never mind the character, it's like that's going to carry everything for the rest of life. This is why I've stated to people before that everybody should not be on these podcasts trying to give relationship advice, because the same dude here that gave this type of simp type of relationship advice, I don't care what type of money he got, that money could not save him from being divorced. He said that he paid on a street interview. He said for 7 to 8 years, he paid for his wife. She did not have to work. She didn't have to do nothing. He afforded everything. That didn't stop him from being divorced. She still divorced him. So yeah. So again, this is where a lot of that stuff will sit up there and get you. And then even with him knowing the fact that him providing and doing everything for his wife still led to him being divorced, because it didn't save anything, he's still implementing and giving the same teachings that he's adhered to his son. You got a fool running a fool's errand, it's over. Like father and son, give us a call. It's over. Sham said, yeah, but about 1/5 of parents are stay-at-home parents, and 2.5 million of those are men. It's a big population staying home anymore. Both got to work. Yeah, times have changed. Barb said, I think being a stay-at-home mom is a sacrifice, but can also be a privilege as well. I think two things can be true. My mom was one. A housewife with no kids is different, though. Jasmine said chemical imbalance. I mean, it'd be like that. That's what I always used to say. Back when I was in school, it was either chemical imbalance or unstable creatures. It was either one of the two, because they were both right. It just depended on the day what title I wanted to sit up there and use. Because I would try my best, no matter how disrespected I would get when it dealt with like girls, sitting up there talking. I would try to go by my mom's teachings. And act like, and try to move how it is that I was raised, right? I would never, refer to or call the women in my house, out of their name. So, I give that same grace, directly, out there, even though it's not afforded to me at all. I give that same exact grace. So it's unstable creatures or chemical imbalance. It's either one of the two. Barb said, oof, no holding doors. I get it though. The fatigue, I guess. Yeah, it'd be like that. Like I said, it's tough out here. Like I said, I don't want it to come across as if I'm trying to, potentially do something harmful. If I'm trying to set a woman up, if I'm trying to get her number, if I'm trying to make a door opener so I can try to talk, I'm not trying to have no woman assume nothing. Even at the market, I am not helping you get anything off the top shelf. You got it. You better call one of those coworkers and get a ladder. I'm being dead serious. I don't care if people say I'm taking this too far, some other farther extent. I got to save myself at the end of the day. I got to look out for my own best interest. Right? Because if somebody decides to make a lie about me being a black man out here, who's going to be out here to defend me? Nobody. I got to do it myself. So, if that's the sacrifice that I got to sit up there and make, that, and that's a small sacrifice, just not doing for other people, that's a very small sacrifice. If that's the sacrifice I got to sit up there and make in order to make sure that I'm good, so be it. It'd be like that though. It'd be like that. Sham said, it'd be a privilege for the men as well. Like you have somebody cooking, cleaning, shopping, planning, nursing, and etc. It is a team thing. I agree. I can agree on that. But that's only if, the women there are actually doing those things. If you go by what women are saying online, they ain't doing that. A lot of women ain't sitting up there doing that. Like, it's that's more so like older women that have like the old school mentality. Newer women don't have the mentality. Like if their significant other was to get injured, they already got like 10 different dates like set up. Like it's over. And then on top of that, like you got a lot of women right now, they don't even actually cook for their kids. The only cooking that they know is McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. They know the 5 for 5 at Taco Bell. Like it's Chick-fil-A. Like that's it. Like a lot of these women, they got a whole nice kitchen, but they ain't never lifted a pan at all for those kids. And this is why you got the high obesity rates and high blood pressure and all this other type of stuff when you deal with a lot of these young kids out here. This is why you also got a lot of these young kids out here overweight, because a lot of women don't cook or don't know how to cook at home. Like I said, people don't gotta believe me. Look at the kids. Look at the kids. Jasmine said, he said, if you're not making money, you're not an adult. That is a poor mindset. Well, this dude was also trying to call just normal dudes working broke. So there's that. You know, it's crazy work out here. Crazy work. Sham said, like treat your wife like a child just cause he works is terrible. She's your partner, your other half, not your child. His mindset is wrong. Jasmine said, no, you said no kids. Why have a woman? What are you building? So this is how I tend to look at things, right? Just because you initially get married doesn't mean that you need to have kids instantly. If you want to have kids, you should at least try to plan that. And at least I'm saying try, right? Because it's not perfect in every situation. Sometimes, you know, people were high school sweethearts or something like that, and they had kids before marriage or kids during dating or what have you. Again, every situation is not perfect. But what I'm saying is, if you are single and none of y'all got kids, don't produce kids. That's the smartest way to go about it, because just in case that relationship breaks apart, hey, guess what? It's a clean slate. Nobody has to do any ugly battles or fight over this or fight over that, and nobody has to deal with co-parenting. You don't got to deal with none of that nonsense, right? Nobody has to deal with alimony, child support, or any of that, and all this back and forth. So what I'm saying is, if you are single and you don't have kids, keep it that way. And then when you get married, right, during the whole stages of dating or being in a relationship or talking, y'all should have already been putting together some stuff or putting money on the side to walk in those actions. 9 times out, matter of fact, 10 times out of 10, people don't do that. Let me just be real. 10 times out of 10, when people are dating, nobody's working by the actual actions of like, okay, I really do want kids. Let's start putting money to the side now, right? So not only are you putting money to the side for that, you know, those kids that you want to have in the future, but you're also putting money aside for, let's say, that ring, that marriage, the wedding gown, and all the other type of stuff. Everything is an investment. A relationship is an investment. Friendships are investment. Marriages are an investment. Kids are an investment. Everything that you do in life is an investment. And usually when people invest, they want to see the fruits of that investment. So if you decide to invest wrongly, your fruits are going to be poor, or you're going to barely have any type of fruits. You're not going to see anything directly come from it. But if you at least try, you study, you prepare, you do the necessary things, more times than not, you're going to have more fruit directly from that tree or wherever it is that you specifically invested or invested specifically into. That's all I'm saying. Because you're like, hey, you say no kids, then why have a woman? You don't. That's the Jesus Christ. So I try to. It's like normally I would expect to see something like that from a dude, but you're a woman saying this, and I'm like, that completely just threw me for a loop. So a guy could be with a woman, even if it has nothing to do with kids. It's because it's a partnership, it's a relationship. He sees something directly within that woman that has attracted and drawn him specifically to her. Because obviously she has things there that he sees or deems to be beneficial for longevity, for life, for building, for things of that sort. And obviously, if that man is eyeing that woman, he's like, okay, well, you know, with what it is that I have, I can already see what it is that I have, and I can see the benefit of basically having you there or adding you to this situation and how it will be fruitful for the both of us. So again, subtracting the kids, you don't have to be specifically with a woman for kids. Again, that going back to the feminist movement and all this other type of stuff, I could have sworn that women didn't want to just be seen as baby makers, you know, or just be deemed specifically as that women are more than that, right? Or maybe I'm wrong. Coach said facts. Sonny said, of all the battles I managed throughout my days to protect uh, you from them, there's nothing else I should even be expecting to need compromising. The man said, nah, that's toxic femininity. Sam said, yeah, I have to agree. I take care of a 4-bedroom house. I go through cleaning and whatnot, gardening, etc. I can be really tired trying to juggle all of that. Like my desk job is way easier. Sham also said, especially when I got to shovel snow or lift them heavy bags of dirt and sand, like taking care of a house is hard labor. And and the crazy part, Sham, for me, I've always looked at physical labor as fun. I feel like I feel like maybe I'm just the eyeball out when it deals with that. But anytime when it dealt with dealing with, let's say you got to take the weed whacker or the shovel and you got to get the weeds out of the cracks, of the ground, edging up the lawn, doing cutting the grass or shoveling snow. I liked it because it was a free workout. It was fun. You're also making money, while sitting up there doing it, and you're getting exercise, right? I don't know. For me, it's a little bit weird, but it's I guess I'm the odd man out, when it deals with that. I guess possibly. Sonny said nobody's perfect, but some perspectives can limit the ability to ever be able. Joto, what is up? You said exactly 100%. She meant to be the woman that wait. She meant to be the woman, I guess, by nature they feed, and the man makes the money. I mean, we're living in a different time frame. So, women want to do the exact same things as men. So again, I try to when I state that, for me, I try to look at women as equal because that's what women want. They want to be on the same equal footing and standard as men. That's what I try to give. I try to afford that. I try to give that respect. But then I start to go online or have conversations with people like, no, that's not what we meant. I'm like, no, you can't just halfway this whole thing. If you say that everybody is equal, I'm going to look at you as a champion. I'm going to look at you as a king, and I'm going to treat it as such. You can't be a halfway king. You can't do that. At least in my eyes. Yo, Judah, what is up? What is up? Hopefully, you are also doing better. With your healing and everything of the sort. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Sham said the economy doesn't let men too much be sole providers anymore. Like both spouses got to work nowadays. Why at home moms are so much less now. Jasmine said we're talking about marriage, not the streets. Jasmine said your husband does not want children. Wait, I explained all of that before I got to your comment. So I got you. Monica said raising my 2 sons has been a joy. No one loves my children more than myself and my husband. My husband supports us and we live modestly. We have everything that we need. Shout out to Monica, because I swear to goodness, when you hear these people on these podcasts, when they be speaking, they sound completely crazy. They sound completely crazy, and they try to find everything wrong directly with marriage or the words that are being used, versus looking at the actuality of women who are actually married, living and going directly through this in their perspective. Gail said you could still get it with kneecaps closed. Only God, I swear to goodness. Every time, I should have known I was setting myself up, because it was either going to be Mo or it was going to be Gail. Jasmine said, I will digress, but dang, choose better women, vet them right. Tippy said, hi, what I miss? Not much. We're still technically on the first video, and I got multiple videos left. So you ain't miss much technically. Sonny said I usually get this man. Oh my goodness. Israel said that the first guy dealing with this one right here is a sucker. Joto said divorce happens when men act like women or women act like men. They lost their gender roles. Sham said, like my basement flooded out and the work to clean it up was backbreaking for me. I even got sick, intense labor and stress like that women are built for. So yeah, 24 hours is different. Tippy said, well, it's only a certain type of women who are greedy gold diggers. It's not all women. Sham said, my 24 hours is like 10 hours physically. Now, mentally, I can do 24 hours, but past that, I'm dead and I'm staying up no 4-day mentally. Israelite said, exactly. Shams arm before I got you. Tippy said, I think if men don't want to get married, then women should keep their legs closed. Why have a high body count? Now you're starting to that's starting to sound like the manosphere, Tippy. A body count? That's crazy. Sham said, LOL, I like you said no, I'm sorry. You said LOL. I know these girls ain't loyal. I cook for my house, friends, family, neighbors, but I was raised old school. Yeah, but a lot of newer women were not, raised old school. Sonny said, I'll never forget. All of my friends were outside, and I was hyped to get a game of tag or something was going. But this one girl liked me, so everyone forced me to talk to her while they play tag. It'd be like that. We got Ty in the building. What is up? What is up? What is up? Sonny said, bro, that little fast girl just wanted to sit there and kiss and hear, wait, and hear her whine and kiss like female humans do people stuff. Sham said, oh yeah, happy Valentine's Day to everyone. If I don't get to see y'all around Valentine's Day. This woman, Gail, Lord of mercy, every single time for years. Sonny said, how you get cracked and wait, crack and weed? Oh, you talking about the garden work? That's crazy. Sam said, no, such LOL. I hate you right now. It's not fun for me. Cleaning is fun for me. I love, was it mopping and doing laundry, vacuuming, etc. Put on my music and dance through the house. Outside work, I'm dead. Yo, outside work is actually pretty fun. For me, I'm more so, let's say if I wanted to mop, technically I like mopping more than vacuuming, because if I wanted to vacuum, you got to do that during the daylight or morning hours. If you mop, you can pretty much do that any time of the day. I like washing dishes and mopping, pretty much cleaning at night. Because just like I used to take the night shifts, I like night shifts because I'm pretty much by myself and I could just, do what it is that I want to do, probably, just listen to some videos or whatnot on YouTube or whatnot, and, just do that. Tippy said a lot of dudes ignore the red flags that women have, and men only marry them for their looks, like a baddie, and ignore her personality, her flaws, and getting shocked when they only want the money. No, you have a lot of men that actually know. You have a lot of men that actually know what the end result is going to be. They just ignore it. But it's not like they don't know. Tippy said, we're not equals. Sorry, buddy. I knew Tippy was going to say that. D-Money said, cheer her on while she's cutting grass. Sonny said, those are the standard exceptional quality traits required for a side chick. Tippy said, acknowledge my comment, said you just ignore me. I didn't, Tippy. I read all of your comments. So now we're going to go directly to the next video.
20,000 new cases of HIV and AIDS. Like, what in the fuck is going on in ATL? Is everybody just giving it out? 20,000 new cases? When was the last report for the last cases? And how many was the total before they got these 20 new cases? And imagine the people that ain't even said nothing or ain't told nobody and still just running around just doing it. Atlanta has 25,000. No, not 25,000. 20,000 new cases of HIV. So I see a lot of people on PrEP, a lot of people on whatever clinical medicine that you got to take. Now, what is PrEP? Is PrEP the medicine that HIV people take? Or is PrEP the medicine that they take to prevent it or to keep your numbers undetected? Like, what's going on with this? Like, so when you take the test and they say make you undetectable, like you still got it, or are you just not sick as you should be? Like, somebody drop in the comments, what's going on? Like, what is PrEP? And what is the medicine that they take? And what does it mean when they say you'll be undetected? Like, you still got it, or you just not sick? Like, what's going on? But like I say, y'all be careful, and not just in Atlanta, just be careful, period. You know what I'm saying? That's just a warning for people. Be careful. Try to know your status, try to know your partner's status, and try to just be protected. For real. Because it's just too much going on. People, you don't want to live with that. You don't want to live with that.
I like the last part of her video, and that's something that I've preached for the longest time possible, that people just need to make sure to, know their status, get that my chart. Like, if you're out here and you're just dating any and everybody and going on multiple dates and you're just, having one night stands or sleeping with multiple people throughout the week, you might want to go out there and get checked frequently. Like, pretty much every time you get checked, they should know your name by heart. um, because it's dangerous directly out here. And I did look it up, and they said that this was looking from AJC.com, and they said Atlanta does not have an HIV outbreak, despite what people are saying on social media. Right? Like I said, I don't know what's going on, but when it deals with something like this, I'm like, you might as well just like treat it and look at it, half and half. Because something that she stated in there as well too, you have a lot of people that are walking around with HIV slash AIDS, and they don't specifically tell their partners or whoever it is that they're dating, because they can use certain drugs to put down their numbers so that it's not detected. Like, let's say if they had to get a test done, whatever's going on is not detectable, and things of that nature. And then people feel within that, then they're like, oh, well, if I'm taking these drugs and it's not detectable, that means I can have unprotected relations with another person, and they're not going to sit up and catch it. No, you should always use protection. Matter of fact, realistically, if you are a person that has HIV slash AIDS or any of that sort, you should realistically only be messing with people that have the same thing. Nowhere at any moment in time should you be dealing with or messing with ordinary, normal people out here that don't have to worry about that. Because that's, to me, that's crazy. Now, if somebody who doesn't have it is interested in that person, then that's on them. But again, that doesn't make sense. They literally have groups online for people. If they have certain, viruses, STIs, STDs, whatever you want to, they got certain groups where people can go and match up with those people, so that they're away from the general public. And like I said, I'm all for that. I'm directly all for that, because stuff out here is diabolical. It's crazy. And you have far too many people that are willing to infect another person versus actually being truthful and honest. Again, I've covered too many stories like this on this platform. I've even shown videos where people have openly stated that they have X, Y, and Z, and that they go out there and sleep with people unprotected on purpose. So people need to be very cautious, and that's for both men and women directly out there. Sham said, like, I got to wait, rideable, and I'm still tired from mowing. The mosquitoes hurt. I still do it all. Just, it's not fun for me, but gardening is fun. I love my flowers. Sham also said, okay, my cousin lives down in ATL, and she told me it's more than download people down there spreading it. It's coming from people who visit Atlanta on vacation or to party. Oh yeah. People, if people know that there's a certain area that they can go to where they can mask themselves, so to say, amongst the general populace, where nothing is going to be questioned. Oh yeah, they're going to flock directly down there. And people are like, oh well, let me just go to Atlanta and do some stuff, because I don't got to worry about nothing, because people down there more than likely already got something anyway. So me just being there is not going to do anything. Like I said, it's crazy out here. Tippy said, because they're sleeping with strangers and a lot of gay men having unprotected sex is disgusting to me. Also, Tippy, you have a lot of women that are down low, that are gay as well, and they're having unprotected relations with women. Because you got to remember, a lot of women, when they are so Tippy, when we when you have women out here who are having relations with other women, they tend to do this with shared items, shared toys. And in a lot of instances, women are not putting condoms on those toys. So they're sharing those toys between woman and woman and woman and woman and woman and woman and woman. And a lot of those toys, if it's not metallic, I think even glass may be porous to an extent. But if it is not metallic or glass, then it's going to be porous. So you may have somebody that may have like silicone or a different type of plastic or wood, right? Any one of those are very porous, and they can carry fluids and all of this other type of stuff. So you got a lot of people spreading stuff. You have a lot of people spreading stuff. And on top of that, you also have women as well, that like to mess with guys who are bi, because they can just do a lot of things that they've always seen directly in films. Nobody talks about that, but again, you got women out there this is the reason that they be dealing with guys who are bi, because they can just do a lot of stuff that they've always wished and wondered about and all this other type of stuff. Tony said, sad. I know 3 people who have died of AIDS. And my condolences. My condolences. That's tough. Sham says, so basically because Atlanta, kind of a black Hollywood, the tourist is brought in and brought a lot of people with these diseases there. Yeah. It feels white Hollywood trying to sabotage it. Yeah. Tippy said that's disgusting too. Hey. D Money says, Cedric explaining. Cedric explained it to Tippy was not on my bingo card. I mean, I gotta also, remember, so Gail said years ago. Wow, that's crazy. This one Gail be writing anything, I swear to goodness. This one be writing anything. Rabbit said Atlanta is never beating allegations. They will not. But now let's go to the next video.
You living the wife life. Where your clothes at? Where your pieces at? Where your bags at? Where the trips is at? Where the cars at? I'm sorry, did you get a push gift? Where your push at? Where your Benz at?
What's a push gift?
Like, what's so tea about being married to a bum? I hate the fact that black
right. So let me just so we got the woman in the middle of the screen questioning women. And basically what she's saying is that if you're a woman and you're married to a bum if he can't afford you like a mansion, multiple houses, multiple cars, give you a push gift. I don't even know what a push gift. Let me look this up. What is a push gift? Like I said, I don't know what none of this is. Like I said, this is just, let me see, push gifts. Okay, so the only thing I'm getting is that a gift given to a mother by her partner or family to celebrate the birth of their baby, honoring the physical and emotional journey of the pregnancy or childbirth. I swear she's talking about something else. It seems though that she's really talking about something else. But yeah, any woman out here that's married or engaged, she's basically saying that the guy that you're with is a bum and he's broke. And again, this is the same type, and she got eyelashes while she sleeps. The craziest part about this is that she's probably a bum and she's probably broke, just to be honest. And she's probably also single. And to the further extent, listening to the way she talks, she probably got kids. Or even if she doesn't have kids, she's sleeping with multiple dudes, which means that she can't be committed and no guy actually wants to commit. Like I said, it's all of those are probably correct answers. It just depends. Like I said, that's crazy that you can see women out here telling women who are married that you made the wrong decisions because she feels that your husband is broke. She could never have a man actually committed to her that actually wants to be with her. That's the crazy part. That's the real kicker right there. That's why she's making these think pieces in an empty bed by herself, wearing eyelashes and doing all of this stuff. The most time that she spends with other people going out is with her girls, not really guys. But yet, men are the problem and the issue, though, in her eyes. That's wild. That is wild. Sham said, why is she breathing so hard? Because this is the most of a workout that she has probably done. That's probably why. This is the most exercise that she's gotten. And usually when a lot of birds tend to talk, they use a lot of oxygen from the atmosphere. So, wherever they are, the oxygen starts to get very low. And that then causes a hole in the ozone layer, which then, brings forth cancer to all. It's tough out here. It is it's tough out here. Pink said, I think she meant to say Porsche. Yeah. Sham said it's always a nose ring and a bonnet. Sham said, Gail, you was finna leave me into Tippy said, "Stop having relations that will solve all of the problems. Stop having relations with strangers." No, Tippy's right. Tippy's right. Jamon, what is up? What is up? What is up? He said a gift for pushing out a baby. D Money said bird talk. Sham said, "You know what? I blame all of the soap operas and romance novels and TV shows that done messed up people's heads. Disney princess reality causing relationship stupidity." Ooh. Sean said, what's up, Sean? You said WTF. Rabbit said you got to do a video on what is it? Foolishness. The guy who thinks being homeless is a financial benefit. Dude is a real bum. That's crazy. That is crazy. Sean said she got serious problems. Yeah, she does. That the girl on the screen, yeah. Sham said that means that her daddy and her mom was broke. Her granddaddy and her grandma was broke too. She's generationally broke, and she thinks marriage is supposed to fix that. Tippy said, "I don't get why women wearing fake lashes when they have real lashes." LOL, that's just me. Jasmine said, "She is broke." LOL. She listed broke-ish, cars, bags, gifts, never mentioned trust, insurance, IRA, land, silver bullion. Where's my bullion at? Then we are talking. Yep, that's facts. She like that's the thing. And again, she could actually probably get a guy. She well, not of means. She could probably get a decent guy if he were to look past a lot of things, and that would actually help her out quite a bit and put her in a better situation. But her mindset is just jacked. You can't like no guy can fix this. Like her mindset is just money, 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 me. What have you done for me lately? That's pretty much it. And she's not going to realize this or find this out or try to correct this maybe up until like mid to late 40s or 50s. And again, by then it's going to be too late. And then she's going to decide to have a second hot girl summer. And she's going to be out here dating younger dudes because she's like, I don't want to date guys, old guys who are around my age. But you should be dating guys who are, like I said, it's going to be a whole other type of thing. What is it? Eric says single female friends poison good female friends in relationships with the curse of FOMO and monkey branching. That's true. Sean says somebody should have just swallowed. That's crazy. News said I bet a lot of people on Atlanta Street interviews got that package. It'd be like that. Sham said, LOL, her perspective of rich is funny though. Porsche dude usually don't mean he's rich. It just means he's in debt. And her money mindset is broke as well. But let's keep going. We got an even better one directly up here. And I made sure to clip this. I know Gail is going to say something. Gail is going to be like, yo, Seji, you couldn't have picked somebody else to deliver this message. No, I couldn't, Gail. We're dealing with the younger generation here, and this is clearly a younger woman. So I want everybody to hear what she has to state about black men.
I hate the fact that black men don't never want to take you on a date to get to know you. And mind you, I'm talking to this white guy right now, and he's willing to take me to the movies or out to eat, willing to get to know me and see how it goes. And it's sad that black men don't want to do that. Like, I'm not speaking for all, but the men that I meet want to take you to their house and get in a bed, and that's how they get to know you.
I think I'm going to just go.
That black men don't want to do that.
Right. I'm not there in I know how it is and why it is that she ended up a single mother. I know how it is that she ended up being a single mother. The funniest thing about this video is that within the comment section, somebody was trying to figure out when was the last time that she went directly on a date, and she specifically stated that the last time she went on a date was on her birthday with, I guess, the guy that she got pregnant by, and that was pretty much the only time, and that was just because it was her birthday. So now she gets online and she's like, out of that one instance, now she gets online and she's like, yeah, black men really ain't worth it. they don't want to do this and they don't want to do that. But mind you, I'm with this white guy and he does everything. And I'm like, ma'am, you're sitting here on social media as a young woman and you have a child directly on you. You don't see what a problem is? Firstly, you chose the wrong guy to even allow to you allowed the wrong guy to entertain, right? You entertained the wrong guy. And then on top of entertaining, you then allowed that same wrong guy to sleep with you unprotected. Which then after those two things happened and there was more than likely red flags there, you then allow this dude to also get you pregnant. Three things of which you had control over in the beginning, and you opted to forego all of that to end up in this situation just to say that black men ain't worth it and white men and men of other races are far more better. Brother, this is all on you. You did this to yourself. You did this to yourself. The one thing that my mom always set up there and taught me is that women have the innate ability to, the God-given innate ability, basically got spider sense. So they know, if a dude is the wrong type or whatnot or whatever and all this other type of stuff. Right. So magically when it's a good dude, women got all of these red flags. When it's the wrong dude, magically spider sense is broken and God forgot to install it. I don't know how that works. I thought it was just always on. I didn't know that you could sit up there and cut it off because I never seen Spider-Man cut off his spider sense. But for whatever reason, when it's a good guy, spider sense is going off. When it's the wrong type of guy, the spider sense doesn't exist. And this is when you have women like this pulling up online, making videos like this. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make no type of sense. Like that is wild. That is 100% wild. Let me see. Like I said, she'll figure it out though. She will figure it out. Hopefully the divestors will come to her aid if anything happens. Hopefully the divestors will bring her videos and let her know. The bad. There was actually just recently a young black woman that lost her life to her preference, and I'm like, so nobody's gonna talk about that. Nobody's gonna mention that, but again, like I told people before, it doesn't matter. If a black man does it, that's the only time that it matters. If anybody else does it, nobody cares. That life does not matter, and that's what I've seen. That's what I've been made aware of on social media for so many years, for decades. Right? Crazy work out here, though. Crazy work, but like I said, black men are the problem, though, right? Black men are the problem. So let's continue on.
I think I'm gonna just go ahead and date outside of my race, outside of my culture, however you want to put it, because I just realized such a pattern in the black community. And this is not all black men, so please do not come for me. But it is a mass amount, especially in the culture that we've been brought up in, this sneaky link culture. It is just such a large mass of men that try to build connection through sex first, and it is so disgusting. So they do things like immediately, like I would tell a guy, hey, how you doing? And it's like, let's go out, let's go for drinks, I'm ready to see you, I want to see you, what you doing. But when I talk to someone of the other race, everything is always on my terms, everything is always when I'm ready. And it's like, what? It made me realize there's so much transactional love in the black community, to the point where I don't even think I want to continue to even entertain my race anymore, because of the root of where this love comes from where it stems from. It's rooted in such conditional love. It's like chemistry is being, and this is, like I said, it's not all, but chemistry is being treated as enough for the connection. Like the chemistry is the commitment. And I hate that for y'all. Either they want the intimacy immediately, sexual intimacy immediately, or they just want to jump straight into relationships, straight into marriage talk, straight. It's like, where's the balance? Where is the steps? Where is the courting?
Whoa. Let me rewind that real quick. What did she say about marriage? Hold on. Let me just hold on. Wait. Let me just.
Straight into marriage talk, straight. It's like,
So okay, so let me get this straight, right? Let me get this straight. Weren't there fields of conversations online where black women were like, "Hey, black men don't even want to get married to us. They don't even want to get engaged." That's been going on, what feels to me for like eons. That's been getting said since the beginning of time, right? But now we got this woman up here. She's basically stating that, there's no type of courtship, and she wants things a specific way. She doesn't just want a dude who knows, and he's like, "Yo, I see you, I love you, and we should get married." She's like, no, that's the wrong way to sit up there and go about it. Like, what you need to sit up there and do is like, we need to sit up there and take steps, and we need to do it this specific way. And if it's not how I envisioned it and how I have it written down, then it doesn't count. It's the wrong way. At this point in time, as so many other people have stated before me, a lot of women don't know what it is that they want. So on one end, black men don't want to get married, but on the other end, she's meeting up with dudes, black dudes that want to sit up there and get married, but the steps are not specifically there that she needs, that needs to be there, which is courtship. It's over. It's good. It's cooked. It's cooked. Everything, just burn it all down. It's done. It's done.
where's the balance? Where is the steps? Where is the courting? I feel like a lot of the people in the black community have lost the that's one tradition that I wish would stick around, is courting. They have lost how to court people in a relationship, especially women. They're not courting, they're just searching for the next fix and offering a woman to drinks immediately, which I started saying I don't even drink. Now what else you got to say? And by me saying I don't even drink, it has pushed a lot of people away.
Why did it sound like she was crying? All right, so you say you got boundaries, right? You say you don't want to drink. You're taking away the main things that people would normally do when they socialize or when they want to get to know somebody. 9 times out of 10, whenever it is that a guy wants to get to know a woman, women are like, "Hey, I want to go to the club," or they want to go to a bar. They want to go out there and get a drink, right? So now you say that you took that directly off the board. Okay, cool, fine. And now you said that I guess you're not getting any type of dates or whatnot or whatever or something of that sort. I mean, if you take away certain things of how people normally interact, where it makes them comfortable to sit up there and talk, then I mean, I don't know. I don't know, because again, I have to go back to the previous conversations that I went over where you had women like her that pulled up on TikTok and they were like, "Oh no, black dudes, they want to ask me for a coffee date, or they want to go to a park and they want to do this and all this. Like that's bare minimum. That's low effort. I'm not going to. You see how much it costs for me to get dressed up, my eyelashes, my hair, my makeup, the time it takes for me to get ready, the clothes that I wear, my shoes, and all this other type of the time out of my day. That's bare minimum and low effort, and this, that, and the third." I'm like, okay, cool, fine. So now we got on the other end, this woman here is like, I'm not even trying to do drinks. Now she's on the whole opposite end. Now it's like, I'm not doing the clubs, I'm not doing the drinks. I want to do all of this other, simple stuff. But black men were already told that they don't want that simple stuff, especially the coffee dates. That was going on for, I want to feel like 2 years. It was a nice 2 years that that whole dumb conversation was going on all over podcasts. It was the dumbest conversation possible. And everybody had, a whole, thing directly about, like I said, I feel like dating wise, that was one of the most destructive conversations right there, where women pulled up to the scene and it was like, yeah, black men, if you trying to take, somebody on a coffee date, that's a no. That's or as they said back then, it was an ick. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, you just can't win. But let's continue.
Because alcohol is low effort as hell, but it's high access. And the thing is, alcohol can make you vulnerable. Why do you want a woman to be so vulnerable with you immediately? Why do you need that instant gratification? Why is the intention always drinks? Why not daylight? Why not intention? And
Okay. Okay, cool, fine, no problem, right? Maybe you got dudes out here that are nervous and maybe they need a drink to basically loosen up so that they can feel comfortable enough to just, talk so they're not just always on edge, right? She said, why not just be honest and why not just have stuff, in the daylight? Cool, no problem. Why don't women just come as they are? Why don't women come on a date without a wig, come out there without fake eyelashes, without, all different types of makeup, without any type of waist trainers or butt shapers directly on? Why don't you come as you are in the daylight? Why don't you come as God made you? Now, if men were to go out and say that, they would get crucified. I get crucified all the time, so it don't matter to me. This is just a Tuesday for me. But again, if men were to come out and say this, like pretty much the exact same way that she said this, if men were to say this when it deals with going out with women dating, it would be a problem. And we know it would. It would be a whole conversation online. But
in the Black community, the root cause of that transactional love comes from what you can provide, not just showing up as who you are. And it really is disgusting. Disgusting that this behavior has evolved over time, even from slavery. Like, this
what?
behavior has evolved into this
What are we talking about?
protection, love, sex, money. It became currency in the Black community. And like I said, I really hate that for us.
I feel like as a Black woman, I'm not
What,
for.
brother? What? How do we get to slave? Somebody has to let me know how, out of her talking about dating, and she wanted to date white guys, and I'm just going to put that out there. I can look at her and I can sit up there and tell she just wanted to date white guys. She just needed a reason so that she can just go off and join the bandwagon with the other ones that normally want to have something negative to say about Black men. Cool. Like I said, and I've stated this for both sides. I wish people would just stop doing this. For the Black dudes out there, I wish they would just stop doing it. If you want to date somebody, who is different, you can do it without talking about Black women. For the Black women out here who continuously make these videos, who make channels, who be making money off of this content, like, yo, if you want to sit up there and date a white dude, a Latin dude, an Asian dude, or what, go out there and do that. Don't nobody care. You just don't need to bring up Black men. Like, stop making this bat signal that you need to make for these races of other men who feel a certain type of way about Black men, to let them know, like, oh, you really don't sit up and like them. So y'all can now join forces like the Wonder Twin powers activate so that y'all can just be together for, whatever amount of time. Like, that's crazy to me. That's weirdo type of behavior. Like, y'all losers. Y'all losers. All of the folks that tend to do stuff like this, where y'all want to get online and y'all want to talk about the people, the men and women of your communities, and you want to talk about how your preference is better, you guys are losers. You guys are weirdos. You guys are goofies. And you need therapy. And I keep saying this time and time again. Like, y'all too old to be doing this. And y'all really think that doing this stuff out here is attractive? Brother, no. Like, it's disgusting. I'm just gonna be I'm just gonna be real honest. Like, just listening to stuff like this is disgusting. And then for the people that actually find you interesting while doing this, they're disgusting as well too. So I guess y'all basically fit within exact same trash can. I don't know. Like I said, it's weird. People need to go seek therapy. Just to be real, that's the best solution that I got. Needs to go get therapy. It's crazy work. Diabolical. Sham said, our parents didn't even ask what you could provide. They made do and stepped up together. It's weird. Yeah. Emotional. Tibby said a lot of black women want a traditional guy, but don't want to be a traditional woman. Ooh, starting to sound like Kevin Samuels. Tippy, that's so it was sounding very manosphere. Tippy. You're gonna have people be out here be looking at, oh, what did she say? Oh, she's a pick me. She's a pick Misha, a pick Keisha. Like, yeah. What was it? Rabbit said she's complaining about transactional relationships during slavery, but at the same time dating white men who invented transactional relationships in America. It'd be like that. You can't tell nobody nothing. You can't tell nobody nothing. Like I said, she has a preference, she has a type, and now she needed that reason to go out there. It's crazy work. D Money said, better talk to white women about white men. She ain't gonna do that. She ain't gonna do that. Sham said, we too past trying to be traditional though. Yeah. It's like I said, it's crazy out here. Let me see.
Marry bitches.
Let me see if I can get to this. So let me pull this back just a bit. So in this next video, what I want to say is
I feel like as a black
that now we've gotten to the point where we got white people in these conversations when it specifically deals with the issues between black men and black women. So right, you see all black folks up here, you see the two black dudes directly there, you see the black woman up there talking, right? So let's just listen to her real quick.
woman, I'm not, for a lot of men of color or for men in general, I'm not their number one pick.
Statistically speaking, black women are.
Let me just roll that back, right? Let me just roll that back.
I really hate that for us.
I feel like as a black woman, I'm not, for a lot of men of color or for men in general, I'm not their number one pick.
So let's just dissect that for a minute. So I'm just going, directly by what it is that I see. Number one, I can tell that she is a big girl. I'm looking directly at the hands. I'm looking directly at the face. I'm looking at the shoulders and what I can see directly of the arms. I'm not sure how tall she is. And she may more than likely have, quite a bit of a stomach as well. You have guys out here. She was like, oh, I feel like they're not my first pick. I mean, you may be dealing with dudes who are not into big girls. So that's going to be a thing. You might not be their preference, and that may be a thing. And all of those things are completely cool. But to make it seem as though that is problematic on the men's side, that you're not specifically in a relationship is crazy. It's two things that you can do. You can find the men that are specifically going to be interested into you because you are a big girl, or you can decide to do the necessary hard work and you can work out. Because I have liked tons of videos on both IG, on YouTube, on TikTok, and elsewhere of women who have weight directly on them, but they did the necessary work for a year or two, and they shed a lot of those pounds, and they look like vastly different people. Matter of fact, you can even go look at Lizzo right now. When you look at Lizzo when she first came out to Lizzo now, it's like, wow. And again, Lizzo, face wise, there was nothing wrong with Lizzo. Lizzo was always pretty. That's the I can have my disagreements with a lot of other things that Lizzo has done, and I've talked about that on videos. But Lizzo has been pretty, at least to me. Like I said, I can't speak for anybody else, but I never deemed Lizzo to be ugly, right? But again, she had a lot of weight, but she did the necessary work or what have you in order to lose that weight. And you start to see a lot of other men that may not have been really saying that much about, Lizzo or really paying attention. Now you see other dudes in under her pictures, comment sections saying, all of the stuff that they would normally say about other women, about how attractive they are and all this other type of stuff, and trying to shoot their shot and whatnot or whatever. Like I said, she has two choices. Don't try to do like this whole color thing where it's like, black men don't want me because, I'm a black woman and look at me. Like I said, I'm tired of this whole victim thing. Like I said, a lot of dudes out here know the reasons why it is that they're not getting the attention that they're not getting. It may be because of the looks department, it may be because of the weight, it may be height or whatnot or whatever. And 9 times out of 10, what dudes will normally do is that they'll start working on themselves to build other things up, right? So that things will start to be equal, so that there's more of a balance, or at least whatever it is that they worked on will be highlighted more versus whatever people will figure to be a negative. But for whatever reason, every time I look at these platforms, I see women like this that'll pull up to the scene and they want to put all of the blame directly on men. How? Like, that's crazy, man. That's wild.
Statistically speaking, black women are the least dateable section of our population. It's not my personal opinion. That is a statistic. Argue with the numbers. She says that she feels like she has to be Caribbean or something else. She can't just be a black woman in order to attract a mate. Because black men, or really men in general, like she says, aren't coming after a black woman as their first choice. And I'm truly curious as to why you think that is. I would really love to hear from black women why that is, as well as everyone else. I would imagine that most black women go after black men, that most Asian men and women go after women and men, that most white men go after white women, and that most white women go after white men. Obviously, people mix. Nothing wrong with it, do you think? But a high majority of people date their same race. So why are black women not black men's first choice?
And this is where we have now gotten where all of the rhetoric that black women have been saying all, and I have to generalize it because of all of the different faces, the different voices of black women online have been so loud and proud about this. Now you have the white king, the white champion, the white panther stepping up to the forefront to be the voice for black women. And now he's throwing his hat in here. He was like, yo, how come, yo, black men, why don't you want to sit up there and date these black women out here? It's like when it deals with every other race, because notice how he put it. She put it the exact same way. She said that she's a victim, she's a black woman. Look at me. And I'm pretty much not on the radar when it deals with, black men. I'm not, their first, go to. He sat up there and stated every other group of men out here want to date their women. But he made sure he didn't really sit up there and say black men really in a conversation up until the very end. They both parroted the exact same thing. Black men are the problem. Wow. This is where we are now. This is where we are now, where now they got white men up here trying to question black men on who it is that we date and this, that, and this is why I sat up there and said this is a whole clown show now. This is 100% a whole clown show right now, where we've gotten to this point where a white dude decided to speak and be in this conversation that has zero to do with him at all. Zero to do with him at all. Zero. And he's parroting the exact same talking points as the black women online. It's over. It's over. I'm pretty sure. Where the divest is at, so y'all can come pick up your king. This is your white panther. Come pick him up. Come pick him up. Take him offline. Just have him put him anywhere else. Bring him anywhere else, because this is crazy. This is during Black History Month. This is wild. This is wild. Jesus Christ. Like, Lord have mercy. It's like, so people just can't. So what if the black dudes out there, right? And again, ain't nothing wrong with big girls. Big girls are beautiful. Like I said before, and I've stated this multiple times before. But let me try to go back to the lady there, right? So what if the guys, because this is the problem. A lot of times for her, she's looking at guys and she's interested in guys that are not interested in her. That'd be the problem. That'd be the problem. And again, she knows it. She knows that she can sit up there and go out with her girls and whatnot or whatever. I'll put it to you like this. 9 times out of 10, when she goes out, she's amongst women or a friend group that are not the same size as her. I promise you. And she is not. And again, when normally, and this is, and for the big girls out there, let me let y'all know something. A lot of instances where you got your friend groups and everybody is a different size than you. If you are the biggest girl there, they got you there so that they look smaller. They got you there so that the guy can make the determination that the other ones don't look so bad because they're going to look at you. Like I've tried to explain this a few different ways on live streams and by using images and even other videos directly out there to try to get this through to other women out there that you got within your friend group, the women that you quote unquote love and all that, they're playing you at the end of the day. It's like when everybody always states that there's always that one ugly friend out the group. That's what women do to other women all the time, especially when they go out. I see them all the time. But you can't tell nobody nothing. But back to the whole thing about having a preference, like what if those guys, what if they want somebody that's like let's say like 2000-esque. Like if you go back to the 2000s, black women were like slim, slim, medium, type of build, that type of, that's what you would, go out there and see. Like you can take it to high school or wherever you want to sit up there and put it. Like what if that's what he's specifically looking for? Is he wrong for looking for that? Are we going to say that what he's fat phobic or he's fat shaming? There's some social media woman on Big Girl that's on TikTok and she likes to say that society is fat phobic and there needs to be laws against fat phobia and all this. I'm like, dog, I don't got no time for this. It's all foolishness to me. I'm pleased. Please, because that's like me sitting up there saying that people are thin phobic, meaning that bigger people out there have a phobia of thin men. Do you know how weird that sounds? It wouldn't even make sense. Like, oh, why does every single door in a house need to be so big? Why don't they make the doors specifically for my size? They're thin shaming. Understand like how weird that would sound? It's like that's crazy. Like I expect to have doors where I have to like turn my body to the side and go through like a keyhole. Like, come on. But it'd be like that. It's whatever though. It's whatever. But like I said, this just should not be it. There should be at no point in time any of these white dudes directly in this conversation. That just should not be happening at all. What was it? Let me see. Lynn said lots of black men say that they don't want to date black women. They may not be the majority, but they are more vocal than black men who prefer black women. Because a lot of black men that prefer black women are with black women. They're out there actively seeking. The problem that happens is that a lot of women, just normally, right? A lot of women will give the attention to the wrong types of dudes, and that's just in general. If you don't believe me, again, look at the amount of women and look at the stories of those women who ended up pregnant and there is no father in the home. They don't have a consistent relationship. All of those dudes have pretty much dropped off the face of the earth. A lot of women, 9 times out of 10, will give the right attention to the wrong dudes. That's the best way to put it. They'll give the right attention to the wrong dudes. And then they'll give the wrong attention to the dudes that they should actually want to be with. If that makes any sense for people. So like I said before, you got too many women that want to pay attention to dudes who are not attracted to them. People got to make that make sense. Like it makes no sense. Well, technically it does. It's like the whole thing where people say that people pay attention to the things that are not obtainable. Like everybody want to pay attention to the riches. They want to pay attention to the mansions and all of this stuff. The things that are outside of what it is that they can obtain right now in this reality as it stands. Instead of trying to obtain the things that's right there near them. People are like, oh, what is that? That's a candy store right next to me. Ugh, I'm not going to that candy store. Oh, what is that? That's it's just a normal mom and pop restaurant that has all natural food. Oh, no, I don't want that. No, let me go to this restaurant where they put gold shavings directly on the steak, and they got like $1,000 truffle oil and sauces that they put this steak that's only the size of a $50 on a plate with 2 pieces of asparagus. I want to go there and pay $3,000 for it. That's more worth my money. Again, people pay attention to the wrong things. People pay attention to the wrong things. I kid you not. Jasmine said in my state, the ratio is one available black man to every 500 available black women and one black man to every 1,500 women of all races. Black men are rare and can be pickier. You have to be at the top of the pack. I mean, that's true. If you're basically dealing with the extent where the dude is outnumbered, yeah, it be like that. It's just like for rich guys. Like they got the pick of the litter. Literally, a rich dude can basically be amongst a whole bunch of women, and you got all of these different women of all different races from around the world trying to go for his attention. He could just take his time. He don't got to do nothing in an instant. Time is on his side. It's not on the side for those women, but time is on his side, right? Because he is the rarity in a sense there, and that's what the women are directly chasing directly after. Now, mind you, all of those women in packs will be chasing after that one rich guy, but then walking past all of those groups of women are normal average guys that would actually treat those women decently, and they could have a very valuable and respectable, relationship and family with those men. But women are blind to those normal dudes. It be like that. It be like that. Chief Chevy, what is up? He said they desperate too. Sham said, I mean, but what is someone's first pick? And she's not and something, but she's not attracted to him. Is being number one pick really that important? I mean, I don't know. I guess people are treating it like dodgeball or some type of selection. Like everybody wants to be the first draft pick and nobody wants to be picked last, I guess. I don't know, but in order for people to understand what it is that they want in life, somebody's always going to be a last pick or a secondary, a third or a fourth pick. That's what a lot of people don't understand. If you're going out here dating consistently, you're going to be last. You're not going to be the first person that they've ever dated. You're not going to be the first selected choice. You're going to be a last somewhere. So it's like the whole first pick type of thing don't even make sense. This isn't sports. Like somebody's going to be last somewhere, just like with a job. You're not going to be the first person that they picked to work at that job when it was first constructed. You're going to be the last person. But, it's crazy out here. Cave said, I don't discriminate. More cushion for the pushing. Sham said, like I'm being honest, majority of people married today are someone's third or fourth pick. Yeah, that's bars. Caveman said facts. Tippy said, I think I'm skinny phobic. All of the dudes I like have muscle. We know, Tippy. We know. We know. Sham said, muscles, meh. I don't like muscle dudes. Cave said, that's crazy. Tippy said, you like the beer belly guy, Sham. LOL, that's cool. Sham said, LOL, Tippy. What's wrong with liking a normal looking dude? I don't mind if he's a big chunky or just swole like the Rock. That's just not my type at all. D Money said, women do outpopulate men, especially in the black community. Caveman sitting up there just rolling. Tippy said, nothing wrong with it. Roman was a little chunky at SummerSlam against the Brock Lesnar. One of these days, we're just going to have to put up some donations and get, Tippy like a VIP like meet with Roman Reigns. She would freak out. She'll probably pass out and be knocked out at the hospital. Like, yo, what happened? I thought I just saw Roman Reigns. You did, Tippy, and you passed out. Oh my goodness. Yo, I swear to God, she would freak out. Let's go to the next one.
Not okay. I'm not good. Thank you. No, please don't follow me. Thank you. No, thank you. I'm okay.
So, y'all probably not gonna like what I say about this video, but I genuinely don't care. But what I'm gonna first say to black women, y'all have got to stop doing shit like this. It does nothing for you, to you, about you, whatever the case may be. But also to black men or men in general, y'all have, as much as y'all pay attention to social media, y'all have got to start peeping that there are going to be a lot of women outside or who say shit on social media and then they bring that to their reality, right? If they're saying leave us alone, they're not talking to me, they're talking about them. Leave them the fuck alone. And I get it. Y'all don't know which ones y'all should be approaching and which y'all can't no more because of the social media. Bitches like this. I understand. But I don't even know if everything that happened in this video is true as far as he following her, whatever case may be. But a lot of y'all, as soon as you say hey, and then she already immediately has a fucking stank attitude or whatever case may be, leave her alone. Don't say nothing else. Don't follow her. Don't say nothing else. Don't try to get her to change her mind. Nothing. Just leave her the fuck alone. I promise you, she is not the only woman left on this planet. Go to the next one. And then go to the next one if you got to. Okay? However, to my ladies, to my black women, you walking around the world with a stank attitude just because you outside and you know men are going to be out and about, and maybe some of them might holler, maybe some of them might not. That does absolutely nothing for you. I keep trying to tell y'all that y'all energy on the outside is very fucking easy to understand and very fucking easy to grasp compared to when you start opening up your mouth. A lot of you black women have a stank fucking energy around you, and it's very clear as day to a lot of fucking people. This is exactly why when I go outside and I'm out and about around black people in general, I'm very neutral. I don't walk around with a stank attitude. I don't walk around like I'm just the most like bubbliest person ever either. But I'm very neutral because I pay attention to how energy talks way more than your fucking mouth will. When the man said, "How you doing?" and you saying not okay, what did you expect to fucking happen? Some men might keep that as okay, leave her alone. But other men, right? They're gonna look at that as an invitation and be like, "Oh, what's the matter? Let's talk. You wanna talk? Da 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 da." And then God knows if he really followed you, because I don't believe a lot of what you women put and see and do on social media whatsoever when it comes to men. But it's just getting to the point that a lot of you women in general think that you just never going to run into a man again, that there's never going to be a man who's going to try it. A lot of these men don't give a fuck about what y'all talking about when it comes to leave me alone as a woman. They don't give a fuck. They're going to try if they want to try. Men will be men. But how you move is how you move. How you control yourself is how you control yourself, right? If you want to have a stank attitude and don't talk to me, da, 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 you're going to sometimes get the type of men that think that, oh, you want to play those games? We can play those games back. You get where I'm going. Y'all have got to learn when to be soft, regardless if you don't want to be, and when to start clearing your boundaries. A lot of you bitches ended up in situations with men because you want to be rough rider and da 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 all the time with the nigga, instead of just being like, no, I'm okay, da da da. And if he keeps pressing, that's when you have to be like, nigga, I told you no. Yeah. And then you go find someone, or you find a man, or whatever case may be, that can be more protective of you, especially if you know that you're not supposed to be going toe to toe with a man. I keep trying to tell a lot of you black women, stop trying to go toe to toe with these men. You are not a man at all. And one time, and a lot of y'all who want to sit here and always tell your stories, the only reason why you told your stories is because you didn't fucking get to the right fucking man who would have knocked you out cold and probably took you off this earth on some real shit. It is very obvious. A lot of you women, as soon as you walk out the house, or even before you walk out the house, you have it already in your mindset. Oh my God, there's going to be men outside. Oh my God. I'm so scared for my life. Oh my God. They might do something to me. I'm insane. Like, y'all have got to stop having that type of victim mentality, especially to a lot of you women who have never even came close to being unsafe around a man. Y'all hear everybody else's fucking stories. You pay attention to social media so much that you try to internalize all everybody else's trauma stories and this, that, and the third, thinking that's going to happen to you. And now you walking around with all this energy of feeling unsafe on whatever the case may be, when a man even just says, how you doing? I hate to break it to a lot of you women. If you don't want a man to talk to you at all, you ain't gonna ever go out your house. But are y'all ever gonna do that? No. So you walking around with the stank attitude just because a man said, how you doing? And you're like, no, I'm not okay. What the fuck does that even, like,
Yeah.
what is that going to do for you?
That's crazy.
What is that going to do for you? Just think about that. What is that going to do for you? If I was a woman and I said, hey, how you doing? Hello, whatever case may be, and you said the same shit to me, I'm gonna keep walking. I don't give a fuck how you doing. I don't care that you're not okay. That got nothing to do with me. But that's the difference between me and a lot of these other men, or some of these other women. Some women might be like, oh, I'm sorry, like, try to hug you, cuddle you, all this other shit. And some men, right, they might be like, oh, okay, cool, and keep it pushing. But obviously, there are other men out here who don't give a fuck about what you saying, how you feel. They're gonna try if they want to try, because those are the type of disrespectful ass men that we have on this planet. They're not going nowhere. So you getting an attitude, you making this video just to prove that those type of men exist. We're not stupid. Those type of men do exist. But you, as a person, all you can control is yourself. And if you want to walk around just because every single man says something to you and you want to catch an attitude, you're going to have a rude awakening of just being miserable for the rest of your fucking life. Because I hate to break it to you, women, in general, men are not going to leave this planet. They're always going to be here. Get used to it. Get the fuck over it, okay? Just because a lot of y'all have been dog cheated, dragged, whatever case may be, by men, is not going to stop men from just disappearing from this fucking planet. It's not. They're going to always be on this fucking planet. If you don't like it that much, don't leave your fucking house. Go find a whole nother planet. You bitches talk about how much y'all got bags. Put your bags together and go to a whole nother fucking country and create your own fucking all women fucking country. If you hate it that fucking much when a man just says something to you in general. Y'all bring that shit into reality for no fucking reason. And it's annoying as fuck at this rate.
Yo, shout out to that woman. Yo, shout. I do understand why, the video was sped up, because she said a lot. She did say a lot. Shout out to that woman. Like I said, there's rare few women out here that have a platform and that will use that platform in order to speak on the nonsense that goes unchecked directly out here. And again, let me show you, right? It was dark. And you see, let me go back to it. She said, point of view, you're already having a rough day, and here comes a man to make it worse.
Not okay. I'm not good. Thank you. No, please don't follow me. Thank you.
So, like I said, I don't know what happened during her day, but it's clearly at night, and you could tell that she was, probably having a bad day. So a dude was just asking her on the street. He was like, yo, are you okay? Is everything fine? And she was like, no, I'm not okay. and all this other type of stuff. And then she was like, "Some no, thank you, I'm fine." I'm like, dog, you got a whole attitude for no reason. Like I said before, this is why you just let people fall. This is why you don't check on people. Because she would be the type, looking at her face, she would be the type to potentially sit up there and set somebody up for some charges. She talking about, please don't follow me. Who said the dude was following? You didn't even show who the dude was. You didn't even show the distance of the guy. But you said, please don't follow me. How do you know he was really even how like this is my thing dealing with the assumptions of women. How do you know that you weren't talking to a gay male? How do you know that the dude was even attracted to you? You could have been dealing with a gay dude that saw that you might have been going through a stressful situation and he might have wanted to, try to see what was up, what was going on. But you automatically assumed that the dude was just interested and he was going to try to talk to you. And because you gave him a little bit of words, he was going to try to follow you. So automatically within this one video, black men became predators. Just with her one clip, because she was having a bad day, and here's a man. She didn't want to say a black man, but here's a man to sit up there and make it worse. That's crazy. Lord, this woman Tippy, I swear to goodness. I swear to goodness, Tippy just be saying, Lord have mercy. Let me see. Wait, most said little dude does look like Seji. I'm just wondering why he's wearing those fingernails. That's crazy. See, it'd be Mo and it would be Gail. Always saying something and of course Mo comes. I mean, Gail comes out of nowhere talking about some 100%. Chief said it's staged. She's on Facebook. I mean, I don't know. I can't even tell you. What is this? LOL. D Tippy, he always reads your comments and talk to you about games. Gail is number one. Cave said exactly as Seji. Chief said, I don't even hold the door open for them unless they are real. Cave said, I don't even hold doors no more. Jasmine said, you assume sexual attraction, correct? That's a bad habit in women. I mean, it'd be like that. I mean, like I said, the only men from what I've gathered online, just listening to black, again, taking the time to listen, not having no emotions directly attached to it. The main thing that I've understood when it deals with black women in general online in these spaces is that the only black men that they feel comfortable around and don't feel like a danger directly towards are black gay men. Those are the safety. When it deals with straight black men, we are the danger all around. It doesn't matter. They can be in a house like sleep and no black men are even around in that community. Somehow, some way, she'll wake up at night, out of like a night terror, and it was because she dreamt of a black man potentially breaking in, even though she's living in a white community or something. Like I said, for me, it's crazy out here to see the depths and how it is that people will go when it deals with trying to vilify black men directly out here. And people wonder why it is that you see less and less black men deciding that they want to go out to these clubs, ask women out, or they want to do this and they want to do that. It's because they're listening to the women online, because a lot of black women have said in general that black men don't listen. We don't pay attention to black women. So now, because of social media, because of all of the lights and everything that comes with it, you got black men paying attention if they want to or don't want to, and they're listening. And now what's going to happen is that a lot of those black women are saying that, oh, you shouldn't have been listening. You're listening to the wrong ones, and da-da-da. This is still like I said, it's going to be a never-ending circle. Never-ending circle. Gracie said, drugged, LOL. D-Money said, the eyes, Chico, they never lie. K-Man said, love Scarface. Chief said, I don't even look their way when they're counting change at the register. Rabbit said, a lot of my IG crushes I've been following for years, got kids now, Am I getting old? It'd be like that. Sham said, "Is it weird? The door gets open for me. Um, is it how you carry yourself that men open the doors for you? Yeah, yeah. Before I used to just open the door for any woman directly out there, and then I started getting selective. Because you it would get to a point that you would start to realize certain things. Like even from guys, like you would have like just random guys out there was like, yo, bro, thanks for hold open the door, or they give you like the head nod, or you know, a dap or whatever it is. Like guys would, normally say something, even if they're not looking directly at you. It's like, what's up? Thanks for doing it. It'll be that type of thing. When it deals with like a lot of women out here, they're not doing it. They're not sitting up there. They don't even want to sit up there and give 2 seconds for a thank you or whatnot or whatever. I'm like, damn, that's one cold blooded. And then once that started just like happening continuously, I'm like, yeah, let me just, because I'm fast. I'm like, let me just go through the door and just do that. And I've heard women before have an attitude, have the and all this other type of stuff because I didn't hold open the door. Bro, that's not my fault. Hold the door open. You are a whole grown adult human being. Hold the door open for yourself and learn how to catch the door or walk faster. That don't have nothing to do with me. I am not obligated to do that. I may have been taught that. I may have been indoctrinated into that. That may be how I was raised, but I am free to overwrite that programming once I see that it is insufficient in how it is that the world is currently moving at this moment in time. So you can huff and puff and do and try to blow the house down if you want to. It ain't gonna mean nothing to me because at the end of the day, you're still gonna open up that door. So yes, Sham, how you carry yourself, it does matter. It does matter 100%, because I've looked at a lot of women out here and I'm like, yeah, you're not. I'm looking at a lot of women. I'm like, yeah, you're not worth opening the door for. I'm looking at how the women are moving and how they sit up there and talk. I'm like, yeah, no. I'm like, you got that, coach. Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna go walk through the same door. I will walk out of my way and go 5 doors down and go through that door just specifically so I'm good. Like I said, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. Wait, what did Gail is silly? Chief said, "Oh, I got out just uptown with the right folks." Tibby said, "Last time man opened the door for me, I said thank you, sir, with a smile." K-Man said, "Preach, Seji, I agree." Jasmine said, "Flirting is a lost art. I love flirting, even platonic. It's sad that it's treated like a communicable disease. I've never touched the door, but I'm sweet." I mean, it'd be like that. Like I said, I'm not sure if you may have like a son or a nephew or something like that. The times have changed a lot, and you got a lot of these young girls out here that are purely ratchet, that are only street worthy, and they would want, let's say, like your son or your nephew, who you may be raising very well, they would want him to treat them like a princess. And I'm like, nah, you don't get that. I'm like, you are of the streets, because those same, like how they would want your young male family member to treat them, they're not requesting that or looking for that from like those street dudes directly out there. So it's like I said, like it's crazy out here. And when it deals with being a young man or an older guy directly out here, it's like I said, it's tough. You can, especially, well, let me put it like this: if you're a black man and you want to have a conversation, it's tough. If you're at a grocery store, don't do it. If you're at a mall, don't do it. If you're just out in public at a gas station, don't do it. Because you are going to get attitude. You will have those out there that will automatically give you a type of face, and all of this other type of, like I said, there used to be a moment in time that if I saw a woman out there, even if it was like her own car, I used to sit, like I told people before, I used to offer to sit up there and pump the gas. I'm not looking for no money and nothing like that. I'm like, yo, you're a woman, get in a car. You shouldn't even be touching the gas handle because it's dirty, which realistically it is. Those things are not clean at all, or whatnot, or whatever. I'm like, yo, let me pump the gas for you. You just wait the car, you can just pull off, and and that's it. I sit up there and see black women out there at gas stations pumping their own gas. I'm like, you got it, champ. I see you, coach. I see you. You are rookie of the year. I got all faith in you. You are who you think you are, right? That's how I look at it now. I just got to start giving like the head nod and stuff, because I'm like, that's the times that we're living in, because you can't be a black man and want to do what it is that you what was expected of you, or how it is that you were raised, because people are going to either look at you as like, oh, you're trying to set them up, you might be trying to rob them, you might be trying to assault them, you might be trying to drug them, you're trying to ask for their number. You're trying to do this. I'm like, it's nah. I'm sorry. If I'm going to be the villain, I'll at least be a villain from a distance. I'll at least be the villain on my own accord. You know, D Money said, not saying thank you in Louisiana. We'll get you packed up real quick. Tippy said, I don't know how to open doors. Hard for me too, LOL. Tippy, like, my wrists are broken. Sham said, yeah, I always say thank you, but I wonder how they know I'm polite and whatnot. I mean, it's probably by you know, like the look and everything of the sort. D Money said, sounds like white privilege, Tippy. That's crazy. Sham said, Tippy, yes, some doors have the spring push, and when you pull it, it takes some strength. It does. Tippy said, I can't help the strangers open doors for me when I'm walking behind them. Yo, Marty, what is up? What is up? He said, peace to everyone in chat. Sham said, LOL. I'm 6 feet tall, and it's funny seeing the door yank me when it pulls back shut. Jasmine said, correct, Tippy, just smile and dress like a lady. Men offer all kinds of help. I mean, that's true. That is true. Tippy said, a lot of doors open automatically. D Money said, that's messed up to refer to your butler Jebediah as a stranger, Tippy. That's wild. Right. So now let's go to the next video.
Went out, got into an argument with a man. Got to arguing with him and stuff like that. And then I guess like he tried to get physical with her. So she ended up leaving the club or whatever. Her friend stayed, she left. She ended up texting the guy that she was dating, telling him about what was going on. Instead of him jumping to her defense, he said, first of all, you wasn't even supposed to be there tonight.
Yeah, now that's
Secondly, why would you argue with a man in the club and I'm not there? Third of all, why would you argue with the man in the club? Period. You don't know this man. You don't know what he got outside in his trunk. You don't know nothing. So basically, he told her, you're wrong. You know, you don't listen. You're at this point, I don't even want to deal with you no more because you won't even allow me to lead. You don't listen to nothing that I say. I'm not about to lose my future. I'm not about to lose my life because I'm defending you when you decided to be dumb in that moment.
So we heard that, right? So a woman that decided to go out with her girls, and a guy, and again, the guy wasn't there because he probably told her not to sit up there and go out. And most women are like, no, I'm going out with my girls. You can't sit up there and stop me. You can't tell me what to do, rah, 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 and all this other type of stuff, right? So not listening to the guy, she went to the club and then somehow got into a conversation with a guy and got into an argument. How does that happen? How does that even happen? Because if she would have listened to her guy the first time, this would have never have happened. But she wanted to do what it is that she wanted to do. And this is what a lot of guys talk about, where they say that they can't lead a lot of women out here because a lot of women don't want to be led. If a guy is telling you that, hey, today you just shouldn't go out with your girls because of X, Y, and Z, maybe you should actually listen. Because that guy wasn't there, because her boyfriend wasn't there, or who she wasn't dating wasn't there, and she went out with her girls, she got into a conversation with a man, and no woman out here should be getting in confrontations with men. You shouldn't be getting into the face. You should be just walking away, just leaving. You just shouldn't be happening. And then you got the nerve to sit up there and text the guy after he told you that more than likely he didn't want you to go out, and you want to tell him about the situation, the problem. What do you want him to do? You want him to come there and risk his life directly for your honor? No, this is why you got dropped. So let's go back to what they said at the first part. She said the guy dumped her for arguing with the man. Yeah, rightfully so. You're not about to have me. You're not going to be stupid 99% of the time. And then you're going to, again, be stupid by not listening and then call me or text me and tell me that you got into an argument with a man. You would have never faced an argument with a man if you would have listened to me the first time. That's crazy. That is crazy. Like I said, I don't care if that sounds sexist or not. I'll just be sexist. I don't care. More women need to sit up there and listen. More women need to sit up there and listen because her girlfriends weren't going to be able to protect her if that dude at that club decided that he wanted to start swinging directly on her and mollywhopping her throughout that club and outside the club. She wasn't going to have no protection. But you know what people would have said, like, oh, if the boyfriend would have just went out with her and, you know, if he would have been there, then, you know, yeah, and all this other type of stuff. People would have been like, oh, no, it's still the man's fault. Then no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. But this also shows that you got too many women out here that think that they know what is best for them and they don't. You're going to put yourself in harm's way after somebody told you don't do it. and you expect the dude to care? Nah. You got that, coach. Like I said, you wanted to run that play because you said that you could run that play and that you were going to be successful. You ain't want to run. You didn't want to do the Hail Mary, which was the easiest thing to do in order to just, get there. You wanted to run some other type of route. Like I said, a loss is a loss. It be like that. And people wonder why it is that dudes ain't out here trying to quote unquote lead women. Like what for what? For what? Like what is there to sit up there? What is there to lead? What is the benefit for dudes to decide to go out there and take out the time with a random woman out there that they're dating and decide that, okay, I'm going to try to, give you some type of structure. I'm going to try to give you, certain things directly out there, all for them not to listen, all for them to forego their information and end up in the exact same trouble that man tried to tell them that they were going to run into if they don't listen. All for that woman to sit up there and say, well, it was your fault. Maybe if you would have worded it differently, maybe if you would have said it this way or talked to me, maybe if you would have conveyed it this way, or you would have explained it 99 different ways and then sliced it up and gave me a dictionary of Latin and Mandarin Chinese, I could have deciphered and understood what it is that you really meant. No, nobody got time for that. Nobody got time for that. That woman could have sat up there and lost her life. She could have ended up bruised and battered in a hospital, laid up somewhere. With a whole cast, with an orbital fracture, broken ribs, all because she wanted to do what she wanted to do. It's crazy work, man. Like I said, you can't save people from themselves. You can't save people who don't want to be saved. You can't lead people who don't want to be led. Like I said, I'm glad that dude had dropped that woman because she's a liability, not an asset. She is a liability. She is a liability to everything. I promise you, it's going to come to a certain point in time that same woman that they're explaining the story about, that she's going to be the reason why a man out here or both men lose their lives. And she's going to still be walking out here tax-free while families are sitting up there suffering and having to sit up there and bury men behind a woman. But like I said, people not going to understand it up until they meant to understand it. So, maybe when it gets to a point where the woman that they're talking about, she has a son, hopefully her son will end up with a woman that's just like her. Same attitude, same bullheadedness and everything like that. Maybe then and only then, when her son's life is going to be risked or is taken, that, she'll actually understand. Like I said, that's crazy. Some crazy work. Yep. 100%. Goddess, what is up? You said I'm too old for clubs. It's club bed for me. All clubs around the world, same songs and alcohol and drugs. Sham said I thought club was for single people anyway. You got a man and you don't need to be in the club. Marty said many women drag Kevin Samuels when he called out the modern woman's masculine behavior. Sham said, and her so-called friends set her up. They set her up to have her life taken, or your relationship is gone. Like that one lady that went clubbing and left her friend to die in the freezing cold. That is all. Wait, I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know what you're talking about, Sham. I think I know what you're talking about. But yeah, like I said, it's crazy out here. It is it's crazy out here, and I promise you, that woman that got left in the cold, people are somehow, some way, people are like, black men are at fault. It was a black man's fault for not being there, for not protecting her. I'm pretty sure it was a black man on the side of the road or the freeway or a side street that saw her, and he opted not to, stop his car and do this. I'm pretty sure there were some dead black men spirits around that way since slavery that could have, gave some vocal echoes from the ancestral plane and protected and led her and scared off her attack. Like I said, it's tough out here. It is tough out here. It's tough out here. Like I said, condolences to that young woman and the other young woman that I did a story on that ended up losing their lives. Directly out here, things that could very easily be avoided. But people want to put trust in other folks out there. As I stated before, a lot of women want to put trust in other women, and you don't know those other women from a can of paint, just like you don't know any man from Adam. But more oftentimes than not, women will readily trust other women, even though women are known to be very deceitful, very dishonest, and very treacherous when it deals with other women and the lives of other women. So, like I said, that's tough. That's tough. Sham said, "Women are treacherous. I'm telling you, we don't have friends like men do. It's very rare. A group of female friends is dangerous. A single friend, but not a group. Even then, be careful." Yep. Like I said, I've covered too many stories, but you know, you have a lot of folks that will decide to state otherwise, and and things of that nature. Like I said, I've never had instances where any of the male friends that I've ever had in life have just set me up for failure. Nah. I've had male friends that have looked out, directly for me, for my best interest, defended me, or even at times where I didn't have money, they looked out for me and be like, "Yo, I got you. Let me just slide you this here real quick, so you good." You know, like I said, I feel sorry for women out here. I thought it was different. Like I said, a lot of women like to say that it's a sisterhood out here, but obviously not. You said Miss Robinson comes to mind. Yep. Tippy said, if Seji tells me I'm not going to the club, then I'm not going. I'll use my time to cook salmon and rice. This woman. Oh my goodness. Uh let's get to 80% of black women equal fail. Do you mean equally fail? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Jess says, shout out to all of the black men who got me safely through the club life, from brothers to bouncers to strangers. Brothers always made sure I was okay. Yeah, and that's one thing that I've seen before too. If there's been moment in times where black dudes have like, all right, that dude is acting a little bit too weird. He's obviously not getting the message. They will hem that dude up real quick and get him out the way. So, like I said, and I tried to tell a lot of people this before, there are checks and balances when it deals with the black community and it deals with black men. There are checks and balances there. Um, in a lot of instances, looking at these stories online from other black women, it seems as though that they're not positioned, or they've never come across or surrounded themselves with the proper, black men that would actually have their best interest, or, look out for them. There's a few, like you stated before, for Jasmine's example, there's a few black women out here that can attest that there are black men out there that do legitimately care. But again, you got the loud voices out here say that that doesn't exist. It never happens. Like I said, it's crazy. Um, Elaine, what is up? What is up? You said then women are dangerous. Let's said I've dated Asian, white, and black women just are the worst. I mean, I don't even know what you're even trying to. I don't even know if you're black. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't even know if you're black, but you just up here talking. Sham said women are way more territorial than men. That setup aggression is what they set up aggression. The setup aggression is killer. Okay, I got you. And women better start teaching their daughters. Yep. Miss Brewster, what is up? What is up? What's up? Sham said, LOL, Jasmine. My dad did not let me have a club life. He was like, the club is in them books. I got your music right here. Miss Brewster said, agree and yes. Jazz was like, LOL, Sham, your dad was correct. Tibby said, I don't even like large crowds. That's understandable. Anything can happen. What was it? Jasmine said, Mo, that's my cousin. Elaine said, that's all women. Riding solo, what is up? What is up? He said, nighttime, a nighttime show. That is what's up. Yeah, technically it normally happens during the afternoon, but got started a little bit late. So that's why we're currently here at the 2 hour and 43-minute mark. Much love, respect, and appreciation for popping in. D Money said, doing the Lord's work. Yeah, you must be talking about the dude up top that just came in just saying like, oh yeah, I was dating all these other types of women, and you know what the worst women are? I'm like, was nobody asking for that? I'm like, dog, get some therapy. Get some therapy. I'm like, let me just highlight something real quick, because I gotta just, let me see. Like this be the craziest part where you got folks. This is what I be talking about. Where I be having problems and I gotta start sitting up there calling clowns. Like, dog, y'all got for a lot of dudes out here that like to do stuff like this. And again, I've seen this periodically on my channel over the years. I'm like, dog, a lot of y'all need therapy. Let me just single this one out. A lot of y'all need therapy, just to be honest. I'm like, if the women that you are dating are the greatest of the greatest, you shouldn't need to speak on, even talk about black. There should be no type of comparison at all. You should just be focused and just living life. But it's like a lot of y'all are still not happy because you still are seeking for the validation and the attraction of the same women that you just, couldn't get that directly from. So it's like, all right, you got the substitute directly on the side, which is like the Asian and whatever woman. All right, cool, fine, no problem. But it's like, yo, just stay talking about those women. You are now, within that community, right? Those are now the women that you eye and deal specifically with. You really shouldn't be, saying that negative about black women because you're not dealing with black women anymore. That should have stopped the moment in time that you stopped dealing with black women. That's the moment in time that your mouth should have stopped running about black women at that point. Because now all you should be talking about is highlighting and trying to pedestalize those women. And again, doing that without making any type of negative comparison and trying to bring black women up there to try to hold up that idolization, of whatever preference that it is that you got. Like I said, a lot of folks out here are just weird, dog. Y'all just need therapy. Y'all too old to be doing this. I need y'all to do better. I need y'all to do better. And the other thing too is that in a lot of instances, y'all be pulling up to the scene and saying that all of these women are better, but a lot of times y'all ain't getting married though. You'll be able to tell somebody you done dated 10 Asian women, 5 Latin women and some other women somewhere else. But it's like, did you get married though? Are you happily ever after, or are you just like still seeing the sights? I'm like, it's not it shouldn't take you like 99 women to finally figure out, okay, that's the woman right there I want to get married to. It shouldn't take that. It should not take that long. But here we are with people that are still unhappy because if they were, they would be focused on that happiness versus pulling up to the scene and, and still talking about some other type of stuff that nobody specifically asked for. Just saying. Like that's crazy. That is diabolical. Yo, Marty, aka that guy from Texas. What is up? What is up? Tippy said, correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't you that guy from? Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's that. Yeah. Sham said, didn't they ban the other guy that I highlighted? Yeah, the other guy, yeah, D Money had banned the other guy that I had just highlighted. Yeah. That guy from Texas said that's exactly what Stephen Clark thought about black women. Dark bees bring dark days. I've never heard that saying before. That's crazy. That's diabolical. D Money said I've dated every kind of woman except for a Cambodian midget. All of them are crazy. What is a Cambodian midget? Yo, that is crazy. Marty Log said, yes, Tippy, that is me. But yeah, it's just, it's crazy out here, man. It's just diabolical. Like I said, I need a lot of people to, be safe out here, start moving different. People they got to get their attitudes together. How it is that they talk about, another person. Like I said, it's just crazy out here. I need people to realistically do better. Also want to give a shout out to anybody that pulled up to the scene and watched the previous video that I put up for you guys. We had about close to about 2K, about 2K people that pulled up to the video I put up about 5 hours ago. So much love, respect, and appreciation to those folks. We are slowly but surely on our way to 50K. Much love, respect, and appreciation to any and all of those. I'm actually currently going through the comment section to make sure that you guys' comments is showing up on the video. But yeah, much love. Shout out to anybody who is a part of the channel. I'm trying to get my normal statement together. So shout out to my mods, much love, respect, and appreciation for doing the Lord's work every single day. Shout out to the regulars, as D Money would normally state. Shout out to the trolls, aka the MVPs. Shout out to the patrons. Shout out to anybody who's a member on the channel as well. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Shout out to anybody who threw any super chats in the comment section, along with any jewels as well too. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Sham said shakes head. Gail said peace and love. Tippy said gaming stream. I was going to say it ahead of time, and Tippy already got me. She came in there real quick. She was like, I saw what you did last time. Let me beat you to the punch. You got me on that, Tippy. You got me. You 100% got me on that. A gaming stream will happen, Tippy. I just cannot give you a specific date because it takes me some time to play games. I would have to at this moment, because all I do is pretty much wake up and do videos and lives depending on the date. I would have to figure out. I would just have to have a day where I'm just like, all right, I'm in like the game mood and I'm about to just sit there, for several hours and just, play games and stuff. I would have to, figure that out. What was it? Marty said, remember Stephen Clark was deleted by the Sacramento police a while back. I think I might remember. I would have to go through a lot of videos. Sham said, Siji, I'm still mad how all of those white men did all of that evil to those girls and boys, and not one was locked up. The only one locked up right now is a white woman. Crazy how it is. Wait, what video was that? I might have to look back to see what you were talking about. Tippy sitting up here laughing. she know what I'm talking about. Tippy know what I'm talking about. Sham said, then have the nerve to call Obama innate, but Obama ain't in none of those 3 million documents. Not a single one. Oh, that's crazy. Well, people got to go somewhere. People got to go somewhere. Just like when it dealt with the two twins, their two daughters, they were never problematic. But when you look at the Bush twins, they were all over the place. They were just doing whatnot or whatever. And then after they left the White House, this is when you got the paparazzi still spying on them. It's like, oh my God, Sasha Malia, somebody is having a joint. Another person is drinking. Somebody is having cigarettes. Oh my God. I'm like, y'all kids be doing this every single day. But because it's Obama's daughters and they're out the White House, now y'all want to try to make this some type of big deal, like he's just unfit. Yo, that's crazy. Y'all the same folks that had not Sweet 16, it was teenage pregnancy, whatever the show was. They used to come on TLC where all the little white girls were 16 or 15 and pregnant. Like, it was crazy. Teen Mom, that's what it was. Like, y'all had all of those shows, but then you want to try to get on the Obamas like they're doing something wrong. That's some crazy work. And like I said, I'm not really trying to defend Obama or nothing, but I like I said, you just gotta call some stuff out. It's crazy. It's crazy. This man, Hack. What is up? What is up? What is up? Tippy was like, Hack, you late. Marty said, peace at Hack. Sham said, coke addicts and drunkards. Oh yeah, talking about the Bush ones. Yeah. Yep. Hack said, salute. Hack was like, I was at the gym. Man was working out. Shan said, yep. And almost all of those white kids was drugged out like crazy in the White House. Yep. D Money said Biden kids were addicts too. Oh, yeah. Biden's kids too. Yeah. Yeah. That man, his son was all over the place. Woo, that laptop. Diabolical. It was crazy. Diabolical. But yeah, that's pretty much it though, y'all. We've been going for about a good 2 hours and 52 minutes. Again, shout out to all 62 that are currently here, at this moment in time. Shout out to a lot of y'all pulling up to the scene, taking part, within the conversation. My apologies for it actually being so late, but it be like that sometimes. So hopefully, wait, what was happening? Tippy said, "What you have for dinner?" Yeah, I got to figure that one out. I gotta figure that one out. I'll figure something out. I don't know specifically. I don't know what I have for dinner at this moment in time, but got to try to put something together. Hack was like, "Sorry, I'm late." D Money said Tippy shouldn't be allowed to call anyone out anymore with her tardiness. Yeah, Tippy was she would always have a time of like being late. She would be like 2 to 3 hours late to a live stream. It'd be crazy. She'd be like, "Hey, I missed what y'all were doing. I was playing Red Dead. I was playing The Sims. I was asleep. I was making ice cream. I was eating dinner. I was going out. I went back to sleep again." Always Tippy every single time. Every single time. Tippy said, sardines and rice with seaweed. That probably would be pretty good. Sham said, like Bo Biden. Oh, he died from cancer? Oh, that's crazy. Chef said top ramen with sliced cheese. You know the funniest thing is, I've never had that. For me, I probably wouldn't actually do it with the cheese. I would probably have to have like some cheese powder or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just, or maybe for me, it might have to be like shredded. I think I like shredded cheese more, probably. So I'll probably, try that or something like that. Marty said, Tippy, stop playing. This woman, Tippy, kid you not. Kid you not. This woman out here. Lord have mercy. But yeah, hopefully everybody will have a good night. Wait, what's today? Let me see. Oh, today's Saturday. I didn't even realize it. I thought we were still during the weekday. So yeah, shout out to everybody on the weekend. Hopefully y'all having a good weekend. Go out there and order some food, pick up some food, play some games, catch on some Netflix, catch up on some anime, things of that sort. Again, much love, respect, and appreciation for being here during the whole totality of close to about 3 hours. You could have been anywhere else online, but you decided to be here directly with me and listen to me yammer along like I normally do. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Sham said, what? Chef, it's got to be spicy ramen with cheese for me. Tibby said, maybe salmon rice with seaweed. Tibby said, I'm hungry. It's a Saturday. Chef said, I'm eating fried chicken wings with hot sauce right now. You got to be careful with that hot sauce, though, because, depending on the spiciness, yeah, acid reflux will kick in. Tippy said, do a cooking vlog. Darn well I'm not about to do that, Tippy. Sham said, I'm thinking of anime after this. Tippy said, how was midnight? Doing all right. Annoying, but okay. Marty said, ain't watching the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm probably not watching it. I'll probably be playing a video game or something, probably putting up videos. Like I said, I forgot the Super Bowl was even happening. I'll just catch up on what happened online. I'll see the halftime show that they got. And the only thing I care about is really the commercials. So I'll probably just catch that all online when somebody does like a clip and replays those and whatnot. What was it? Tibby said probably not either. Hack said watch Friend Beyond the Journey. I know the anime you're talking about too. I was supposed to watch it, but I ain't started yet. Hack said it's on season 2 already. Okay. D Money said, yep, Bad Bunny is performing. Yeah, I've heard so many things that's going to happen with that. And I gave y'all a video about Bad Bunny in the Discord. So I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Like I said, it's going to be, some type of probably shock value, political, type of stuff. I'm good on that. I'm good. D Money said, I might hate watch the TP USA halftime show. Tippy said, do you have any dessert? Nope, no dessert. Sham said, I want to watch Magic Anime. And Marty Log said, I thought Bad Bunny was banned. Nah. They're gonna go through with that. They are going to go through with it. But anyways, love you guys. Catch you guys in the next video and or live stream. And if you didn't, check out that previous video that I put out for y'all 5 hours ago. It is still up and running. So I catch you guys in the next video and live stream. Peace out.